bitch. Oh, excuse you? Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome and happy Monday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically go and talk about all things going on in celebrity news, hot topics, pop culture, all that good stuff. So, if that is a show for you, I'm just sitting here adjusting my lights. If that's a show for you, definitely stick around because we got a lot of tea to spill today, including we got some Scream 7 news. We also got to talk about this Matthew Lillard to my F Ice and all this other mess. We got to get into that. Plus, American Horror Story, they're coming back with a new season. I actually thought the show was done, but apparently, nope. They found a way to come back. So we got that. And then we got to talk about this drama between Millie Bobby Brown, this story that came out with from the tabloids against David Harbour. Apparently, she did like a harassment situation, so we'll get into that. Plus, we got to talk about MAGA Minaj. Now, apparently, she's been showing her entire behind, as we know, as of late on social media. But now she's come under fire over praising Trump over going after Nigerian people and Christian stuff. I got the whole team. We're gonna break it down. Plus, another day, another lawsuit regarding Drake. Apparently, Spotify, they've been cooking the books over there in regards to them streams. So we got to get into that. Plus, Tamar Braxton had a big blowout with her sisters. We got to get into that. I got the clips and all that other good stuff. Wait, hold on. I don't hit the wrong button. We got to talk about that. Plus, a Live Nation exec. I thought this was relatively interesting. It's talking about the way that Beyonce did her Cowboy Carter tour and basically said that it's not sustainable to just be doing a couple of dates on a show and then moving on from that. So we'll get into that tea. Plus, Diplo makes a claim saying that he kissed Katy Perry and her new boo, Justin Trudeau, and liked it. So we're getting into that. Plus, Charlie Sheen is getting specific about hunching homosexual men's. And we got Moti regarding this David Geffen situation with his man, because apparently they out here saying that his man got a low bank account. So yeah, we got that and a whole lot more. But before we get to those topics, if you have not already, can you please do me a solid and hit that like button? If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Um, during I'll be putting the live stream, the timestamps and all the stuff that I've been doing for y'all with the show. So and all that good stuff. Y'all know how we do over here. But also, I also want to say a huge thank you to everybody who has been a part of the show from the beginning and also the new people that have come in and stuff. We finally hit 3K. Let me hit the comments. And yeah. So wait, hold on. Let's see what the people saying. Sailor Mermaids in the building. I'm so excited for today's hot topics. Yeah, because they're gonna be messy, and I'm sick. And I got my tea. That's why I was late because I had to go make my tea. I got my Mickey Mouse cup, my Magic Kingdom cup, and I felt it coming yesterday. And now I can't find my damn watch. It's around here somewhere. Look, I would lose my head if it wasn't attached. But yeah, so I started feeling myself feeling a little, but I think it was my fault because yesterday when I left the gym, it was like 60, like in the 60s or whatever. And I was like, I'm sweating. I want to dry off. So I had on like a sleeveless hoodie. And I'm like, okay, you definitely gonna be feeling. So when I'm coming home, my throat was getting all scratchy. I was like, oop, it's coming. Yes, thank you, thank you. This is my Saphira Cristal shirt that I bought, but when I went to go to her thing in Philly and the stuff wore off. For 18 weeks, you are 2 hours ahead now due to daylight saving time. Oh, could you talk about how I'm always late? I don't understand what that means. Some a 3K giveaway. Oh, you talking about I'm giving shit. No. It's a congrats on 3K, and I'm ready for some tea. So welcome to Dare episode 2 and rewatch. But first of all, I've totally forgot. Well, I didn't. Yeah, I kept forgetting. I was busy this weekend. I didn't have time to do much of anything. Oh wait, I got to tell you my story before we get into the topic. So You know, on Halloween, I went work the Sabrina Carpenter concert. Right after that, I had to run up out of there and head to the East Village. Child, now this is a clear reminder why I'm glad I am much older and I'm not into the club scenes anymore, because it was compact in the East Village. It was way too many people. I'm like, y'all getting on my nerves. Y'all just walking around and annoying me. So that the trains was too damn packed. I'm trying to get home. I didn't get home till 4 a.m. I went to go see a friend of mine, Michael T, perform in like a at the Slipper Room. They do like a little Rocky Horror situation. It's so tiny, but it's New York. Everything is freaking tiny. So the stage was like this big, and it was like trying to fit them all on the stage and everything. It was quite entertaining and quite interesting. But Michael, of course, turned it out. He played Dr. Frankenfurter. I did post some of the video on my social media. I posted on Facebook. I was thinking about I should post it on the gram and all the other stuff. But yeah, it was a good show. Um, Everybody was the vocals was vocaling. I sat in the front because I had to reserve seating. So I sat in the front, all other stuff. It was cute, but it was like, I can't be out here with these people on this Halloween. I was like, this is why I go directly home from when I be out doing stuff. Or if I'm gonna be in the clubs, y'all gotta pay me for that. Which hopefully when this show gets big enough, I'll be doing a club tour. Yeah, but Halloween was fun though. Not 3K giveaway. One of these days. Why they saying I can't post comments to some destinations? What we talking about? We talking about Africa and stuff, but anyway. So yeah, thank you everybody who has been riding with this show and has, with all the mess and things that we've been doing, that you know, uh that I've hit 3K and we can keep growing the channel and more and more and more. I don't know why I said they said I don't know, something's going on. I think it's with because I attached it to my new Facebook. So now it's saying we're streaming to a profile. Viewer comments won't show up unless the stream is public. I could have sworn it was. And they said it is friends only. But I was like, that's not how I put it though. hmm Show it was a lot of cuties out there though. But the show was cute. And it seemed like Rocky Horror's getting a big revival. I'm seeing a lot of like Luke. We already talked about it on Friday. Um, Luke Evans is going to be on the in the Broadway version. They're bringing it back to Broadway, or they're bringing it. I don't know if it was ever on Broadway. It's over 50 years old, right? So, because I think it came out in 1975. So they're bringing it to Broadway and all the other stuff. So that's what's going on with that right now. Um, yes, you were. That is what I'm using. And I don't know what's going on with that. I'm gonna have to fix that situation. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? And then they're like, if you want to stream at other place, you got to pay more money. So you want me to pay $100 a month, damn near, for what? To be using multiple? It's like, no, I would just use Facebook. Instagram is annoying because Instagram is like they only allow you like a stream key for an hour, and then you have to keep redoing, like creating a new one. And we do long shows over here, and I don't have time to be creating new stream keys when I'm in the middle of a live stream. So that's annoying. I'm like, if you live, you should allow people to go live. Why are you putting a timer on it? But at least if I'm on Facebook or whatever, I'm streaming the show on YouTube. I can stream as long as I want. And if you're on Twitch, which I use, I'm streaming as long as I want. So all of that's connected. I kind of wish they would attach TikTok to it so that way we could stream and do the TikTok with that. But they don't allow that. I got to use like a separate thing. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do all of that. I had to hook up my iPad and everything. I was like, anybody got time for it to be hooking up multiple cameras? Although this thing does allow you to use multiple cameras. I remember when I was in the early throes of the show, I had a friend that was my former producer, EJ. He was using Restream. I'm like, shit, I might actually wind up switching if it comes down to it. But anyway, hello, Magical Mermaid. Yeah, I don't know why it's saying that. They're saying I can't do it on Twitter, I can't do it on LinkedIn, I can't do it on Facebook. IG Live is annoying, but it allows it on StreamYard, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook pages and profiles. Whatever, that's not important. I was like, what is that? I can't make out what that is. But anyway, y'all can keep up with the comments. Now I'm starting to get hot because I'm drinking this damn tea. I was like, I should have put the damn fan on. But anyway, I'll just be sweating out my perm for the next couple of hours. So all right, y'all, let's stop pussyfooting around. Let's hit the banner and let's get into our first topic, which is Scream 7. So y'all already know the Scream 7 trailer came out last week. Everybody was living for it. It came out on Thursday. I remember, like we said before, y'all asked me when do I think a Scream trailer is going to pop up? I said it's probably going to pop up on Halloween. I was slightly correct because it came out the day before. And then I told y'all, like, right after we did the show, then a big story started breaking from Daniel RPK saying that the Scream trailer was going to be dropping on Thursday, which some people took with a grain of salt because Daniel RPK predicted that a Scream trailer was supposed to come out, I think, in like September, and he was incorrect. But I was like, no, it makes more sense to drop it like around Halloween because then we're 3+ months away because it's the beginning of February and the movie's coming out. So we're only gonna be a couple of months away from the movie actually being in theaters, the first week of February. So yeah, they have plenty of time to do the market and everything. So the trailer dropped. A lot of people seem to be liking it. It broke a bunch of damn records. I wish I had the actual tweet on it. They were talking about like what the numbers and stuff were. I know there was something I was supposed to bring up, but I totally forgot. But anyways, neither here nor there. Just know it broke a lot of records. So of course, with that, you already know the Melissa Barrera fans or a lot of the trolls who really aren't fans of the Scream franchise was going to come forth with their mess, and now they're talking about they're going to spoil the movie and they're going to do all these other things, which I think is freaking idiotic if you ask me. So let's get into the story. So the first trailer, as y'all know, from Scream 7 was released, which features Neve Campbell, who is my generation's Scream queen and who has been with the franchise. Child, she said, I'm really old when they brought this up. 30 years. Next year makes 3 decades that Neve Campbell has played Sidney Prescott, and she looks good. By the way, keeping up, you got to keep it right and tight, especially when you're a woman of a certain age. You got to work in Hollywood. They always want you to maintain that youthful glow even if you be feeling the body part ailment, the ailments and everything be kicking in and stuff. So then they said the movie, however, is much different than its initial iteration, as it was originally set to focus on Melissa Barrera's Sam and Jenna Ortega's Tower Carpenter. Plans for the sequel changed when Barrera was fired from it after making statements on social media regarding the Israel-Gaza conflict. And also to add to that, I have something that I literally came across a couple of minutes before I went live that she posted on social media. It seemed like she trolling, but we're going to get into that in a second. So, a day after her firing, Ortega dropped out of the film. Following that, Christopher Landon exited the project as well. Well, Jenna came out with conflicting reports on why she dropped. Oh, I'm busy with Wednesday, and then she was doing Beetlejuice, and then it was other things. And it's like we will probably never know the real reason. But I feel like she left because Melissa wasn't there, so she wanted to stand in solidarity. Okay, but guess what? Y'all not a pinnacle part of Scream. Y'all were in 2 movies that were, in my opinion, okay movies. I kind of didn't like where they were going with the Scream franchise because it didn't feel like a Scream film. It felt like y'all were trying to tell a story with these new characters, and you were pretty much trying to sideline the legacy characters instead of trying to find a way to balance bringing in the legacy characters but then also passing the torch to this new generation. But Radio Silence wasn't good at taking someone else's pre-existing IP and trying to make it their own. In my opinion, I feel like Radio Silence is good at working on their own projects and making it a thing. Because I love what they did with Abigail, which, by the way, y'all let flop at the box office. So if y'all so hardcore, all for Melissa Barrera and Free Palestine and not being so damn performative, which it was feeling like it is coming from a lot of people on social media that live in that bubble, where were y'all opening weekend when Abigail came out? Because I was in the theater. I paid Dolby price to go see that film in the theater, and it was like literally 6 people in it, and it's 2 floors. So where was y'all? So if y'all gonna walk the walk, y'all gotta be able to talk the talk as well, instead of talking shit on social media but not backing it up with anything, instead of words that you type it with your goddamn fingers. Like, stop being basement dwellers and really stand on some shit. So that's the kind of thing that irritates me, in regards of a lot of people trying to play up this performative thing regarding Melissa Barrera. And also, she's got other things coming out. Y'all can support that Simu Liu show that she got coming out. I don't remember the name of it, but she got a show coming out with him in December, and she's currently working on a movie with John Travolta in Spain about some damn killer whales. So when all that stuff starting to come out, most likely that movie's probably gonna come out in 2026. I want to see them numbers do scream numbers. I want to see that movie do scream numbers. But we all know it's not, because a lot of what people do is performative. So with all that being said, and then Christopher Landon basically left the project because the trolls that I'm referring to decided to bully him and threaten to unalive his children. Like, this is what we're doing in 2025. Well, it was 2024 when it went down, but this is what we're doing. So then they had to rework the whole thing, and then that's when Spyglass and all of them decided to stick their tail between their legs and come back up the Brinks truck and beg Nev Campbell to come out, because they were like, oh, well, we're too far deep into the franchise. We can't start with a whole new cast. Nobody's going to come and really see that, because now we have to pander to the legacy fans when you were pretty much trying to throw us by the goddamn wayside. I forgive you if the movie is good, but you try to throw us, who were with the franchise from the beginning, to the wayside because you want to bring in this new generation of people who have no real ties and attachment to the Scream franchise. So they, I guess, learned the error of their ways, and then decided, okay, let's go back and kiss Neb's ass, give her a little more say so on the script, or working as a producer and getting that credit, and giving her more money, the money that she was supposed to get from the beginning, but y'all didn't want, y'all gave her the finger. And now who's the one laughing all the way to the bank? Because she finally got her way. So now this movie is going to focus on Sydney and her daughter, Tatum, as they have to defend themselves against the new Ghostface. Now, I did like the trailer. I did have issues with, I felt like it was a little too dark and certain things you couldn't really see. But also, the issue that I had was that I felt like, even though we didn't see a lot of characters that were mentioned, Mark Consuelos is in the movie. They also, I mean, I'm not expecting you to show us like the dead characters who we already know is supposed to be coming back. Like, we can wait for the movie to see all of them. But I'm talking about like all the other people that y'all mentioned. Ethan Embry, I ain't see him. Like we said, Mark Consuelos. You ain't show a lot of the other characters. But I guess we'll see all of that when we see the movie. And I know this is the first trailer, so I just want to see a little bit. I don't want everything to be pushed out and revealed in the trailer. I want to have an element of surprise when I go see the film. So I wasn't all that upset with the trailer, but I did find like, but especially with the opening, like y'all showed the opening kill in the beginning of the damn trailer. I'm like, what are y'all doing? But whatever to get people excited about this film, they're gonna have to reveal something, I guess. So now, yeah, so people expressed dissatisfaction, and here's what some of the tweets had to say. One person said, can't wait to bootleg it after what y'all did to Melissa Barrera. Well, I don't think you was planning on going to the movies any damn way. Another person said, reminder to everyone, it's called the Copenhagen Test, starring Simu Liu and Melissa Barrera, is set to premiere on December 27th. Now y'all have something to watch. It didn't say where it's premiering, but it said it's premiering somewhere. But I guess it's gonna be on one of them streaming services. Who knows? Then another person said this is missing two very important women, and I guess they're not talking about Sydney and Gail, who were with the show for the franchise since the beginning. They're referring to Melissa and Jenna. Okay, well, and then another person said Sam Carpenter and Melissa Barrera, you will always be iconic and loved. I don't know how you iconic from doing two movies when there's seven of them, but okay. And then another person said, oh wait, I think oh yeah, so and then this is the one I found. Another person said, after what happened to Melissa Barrera, I genuinely do not give a single fuck about this. Okay, but you went and posted something on it though. And then here's the one that I found relatively interesting. One person said, why do people act like Melissa Barrera started the Scream franchise? Her character wasn't even good either. The villain's child trope is so overused. This one I've been saying this long before this, but I'm glad somebody finally came to their senses and said this on social media. Because it's like, yeah, it's like y'all act like she started this franchise. She is not the final girl. And here's the thing: The one thing I've noticed about a lot of these fandoms or whatever, y'all were flat out disrespectful to Nev Campbell since the beginning. When they went and brought in Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega, it was giving very much out with the old and in with the new. And y'all seem to forget that, God forbid, if anything don't happen to y'all in your lifetime, you better hope to make it to Nev Campbell age. And I think Nev is like, what, 50? You better hope you can make it to half a goddamn century. And you out here throwing shade for what? Because you're feeling your oats because you're young. Okay, well, everybody gets older. I was y'all age once upon a time. Well, or whatever age that they got Melissa Barrera playing in this damn movie, but she in her damn 20s. I was 21. And then as you get older, you start to realize that, okay, shit about to get real. So now, as reported by Dillon, the Palestinian-led movement Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions Movement is also supporting a boycott against the film. Okay, supported by various other organizations. In 2024, in an interview with The Independent, Barrera spoke about her firing and how it affected her. She said, "It was the darkest, hardest year of my life, and I had to reevaluate everything. There were times where I felt like my life was over. It was quiet for like 10 months. I was still getting offers for small things here and there. I'm not going to lie and say there was nothing, but the message was, oh, she probably doesn't have work, so say yes to anything." And look, I'm glad when celebrities come out and speak out against things and go against the establishment, because that's what some people do. There are some people who are actors who put their head down and just do the work, don't really stand on anything because they don't want to ruin any chance. Like, oh, I worked hard to get here. I don't want to have those opportunities taken from me. And then there are people like Melissa who's like, I don't give a damn. I'm willing to take the risks and speak out against the injustices of people, and she should have a right to do that. So I don't agree with what Spyglass did. And of course, this was at a time when people weren't really doing like free Palestine thing. It wasn't the genocide. Well, the genocide is bad regardless, but it wasn't to the point where it is now. She was doing that when it was just before it became chic for everybody to jump on the bandwagon and start talking about free Palestine. So now that everybody's in this place of like, yeah, Israel's in the wrong for what they're doing and continuing to do, because they don't keep bringing up this fake ceasefire that has not happened. They keep talking about ceasefire. This is never a plan of a ceasefire. This is all a clown show. And people need to realize it's all performance theater. Bad performance theater, way off Broadway. But that's what they're trying to give us. And people are seeing through it. So, like I said, at the end of the day, she's still getting work. So yeah, she's not a part of the franchise, but at least she's still working. So why are people still upset? Yeah, she's not gonna be in this movie. I don't feel like y'all are real fans. Like people who still speaking out about this, y'all not real fans of Scream. I don't think they really are. So Melissa, so then I came across this post. So someone on Twitter posted, Melissa Barrera is so resentful and bitter about Scream that she can't hide it anymore, inciting the boycott and trying to hurt Scream 7 and all the people involved. So immature. Melissa, dear, you better focus on fight with Spanish whales and let Scream franchise alone. But wait, what did she write? So it wrote, lots of questionable people and corporations will spend millions in marketing and propaganda to make you forget the bad things they've done and the people they've hurt. Also you vote for them or consume their products. Basically, so you keep lining their pockets and they never have to face consequences for their actions. Don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. So, what this person is implying is that Melissa Barrera posted this and it said 5 hours that it was posted, and it looked like it was posted on her stories, because a lot of these celebrities, they like to chicken out and post shit in their story. And what they're saying is that she is pretty much um saying that, yeah, after what they did to me, y'all need to go and boycott this movie. And my thing is this: there are people, if you're going to boycott the movie, by all means, do so. There are also people who have no idea what the hell is all this is doing, what it's all is going on. Because I did read in the comments, one girl was like, wait, what's going on with Melissa Barrera? Like, people are not as locked into all of the, gobbledygook and the gossip like I am. And this is because I'm in media. So yeah, I'm paying attention to all of this stuff. But everybody's not in the bubble. And people need to realize that. So you want to ruin something because you're mad over your favorite actress Because I want to see if you a Melissa Barrera stan, I want to see all the pictures. I want to see all the merch. I want to see all the posters. Like I want you to be Taylor Swift level stan of a Melissa Barrera fan. If y'all running out here talking about, oh well, you want to ruin a moment for other people. So we got to be considerate of that as well. So you want to ruin something because you're mad over your fave not being in something. Like that's childish and it's immature. And to me, it doesn't solve the issue. Spyglass and Paramount are still releasing this movie, whether we want to deal with the whatever or not, whether we want them to release it or not. It's not up to us. If you have the money to prevent it from showing in theaters, put your money up. It's as simple as that. But you don't have that control. The only power that you have, don't go see the movie. So how you gonna know what's everything in it? Which means you gonna go to the movies and watch it and then spoil it online. So how you gonna find the tea? Or you gonna try to find a bootleg copy and watch it and spoil it. So you gotta go through all this work to ruin something for somebody because you mad over your fave not being in the movie. Like, does that make any kind of logical sense? But I guess in your universe it does. So like I said, stand on your business in regards to the whole Free Palestine situation. Everybody knows, those who follow me on my social media platforms, don't nobody go hard against Zionism and this whole Free Palestine movement than me. If y'all read all the political stuff that I post on social media, you know how hard I go for this shit. So I march to the beat of this of what I say. But to me, I feel like this is just stupid and it's not gonna solve the issue of, oh well, Melissa Barrera is not in a movie that I want, a Scream movie, which she's only been in 2 out of the 7 films. So you're gonna ruin it for everybody else. Okay. Whatever helps you sleep at night. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to Melissa Barrera and all this stuff surrounding her and this Scream drama and all that, all this, especially with the trailer? You already knew the backlash was going to come. So, of course, we had to address it on here. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what you think of this story in the comments down below. Hold on as I take a sip. As I sip on this tea. Oh, boy. Jesus. Come on, Smoke Soul Glow Perm. I saw the girl bands documentary. Let's just say extreme jealousy of the Spice Girls because of how big they were and the others had UK success. But I learned All Saints had a sold out tour. But 2 of the girls were, yeah, that was another thing too, is that All Saints I always felt was gonna be up there with the Spice Girls as like that next big thing. But the girls can get their goddamn legs closed, especially one of them fucking Justin Timberlake, allegedly. Um, while he was with Britney. They said 2 of the girls was pregnant and had to cancel the U.S. tour as one of the girls kept her kid. Management said, you need to abort the baby or get fired. Melanie Britt basically was like, then I'll leave. Yeah, people don't realize that. Um, People do not realize that getting pregnant back in the 90s and the 2000s, when at the height of your career, that was a career ruiner. As Brandy, um, Britney Spears, who admitted she had to abort a child because she was at the height of her career because her and Justin was fucking like rabbits. And they didn't want to ruin their career, so she went and aborted that child. Now she regrets it. And so many other girls in the 90s and the Braxtons, 2 of them, what was it? Tracy Braxton. That was the big thing with that show. We're gonna get into the Braxtons later on, but it was like that was one of the big stories was that Tracy was when she was a part of the group, the Braxtons, how she got pregnant, and there was a whole situation surrounding that they were going to kick her out of the group because she was with child. I think it was also a situation with Escape where that happened. So they wanted them out here making that money, building that career, being workhorses. You couldn't do that with a kid. A man could make a bunch of damn babies and go on tour because it's not a man's responsibility to raise a child. This is the way society kind of programmed itself to believe. All right. Okay, so I was like, what else? Yes, child. A new scream queen. Move out, Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, she need to definitely move over. And I don't know why we label her. Well, she was a scream king because she was doing a lot of horror movies at the time. But then when she comes out and says, I'm not really a horror movie fan, blah, 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 like the way she treats the whole horror genre like it's nothing more than a cash grab for her. Like, I don't like that type of situation. Like, I like the type of screen queens that it's like, yeah, I know that that this is what has made my career. And there are people who are like those genre actors and appreciate the fans. I don't feel like Jamie Lee really does. The and they don't care. Drum Dums actually even said it gives me the activists don't. They probably don't. Shout out to Lee over there at Drum Dums. He said, I think Ellen Bernstein is the top screen queen. Well, we ain't gonna acknowledge that David Gordon Green one that just came out, which was so bad they had to bring in oh my god, what the hell's his name? The guy that did what I think the guy that I can't remember shit, I forgot his name. He wrote the script for the new Clayface movie. But yeah, we don't acknowledge that movie. Mike Flanagan. I don't know why it didn't come to me, but it just came to my brain. She's 92. I never understood the constant shading of people getting older. I'd rather grow to elderly as what because they put so much emphasis on youth. Like youth is the most wonderful thing in the world. And there's an old saying, I don't know where it's from, might be from the boys in the band. Youth is wasted on the young. It's like the older you get, the more wiser you are. And I'd rather have wisdom, which is why in other countries they really take care of their elders, especially Asian people. They're all about like the respect of your elders and things. Speaking of which, when I'm at work, a lot of people call me sir. I don't know why I feel a ways about that because I'm like, that makes me feel old. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. Sailor Mermaid says, I never understood the constant shading of people get. Oh, yeah, I did read that one. It said them to be eternally young. Okay. And stupid. Jasmine Savoy Brown was Free Palestine and she's in Scream 7. There was a way to do it. Jasmine did it right in Spyglass Eyes while Melissa didn't. I mean, they felt Melissa was a little bit aggressive with her approach. Who knows why Jasmine was spared and Melissa wasn't? Um, you could be for like not approving or being for a genocide, but I don't know. But yeah, that is true that she was. And then I saw that also Nev limited her comments on Instagram. Plus, Melissa even said she only signed to do two screen films and felt her story came to. And yeah, that's what I was saying. Like the way she just did the mask drop instead of a mic drop, the way she just dropped the mask on the floor and then moved on. It was like it was kind of a cathartic thing. Although there are a lot of issues that I have with Scream 6. There are moments in there where it's relatively enjoyable. And I don't like this idea that Matthew Lillard's, I think he said that, oh yeah, Ghostface wouldn't use a gun. How the fuck you know? Ghostface gonna use whatever he gonna use to get the kills. Alex says, guess who got Disney Plus with Hulu last night? Not Disney Plus with Hulu. Child, look, I got Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max bundle. And then my card finally came in yesterday because I don't know if I told y'all, but yeah, somebody wound up getting my card information and was buying shit off I'm like, I ain't ordered this. Child, I had to get on the phone with Wells Fargo. They sent me the card finally came in the mail on Saturday, but I was up in here. I had to use my phone was my lifeline because like when you have a phone or whatever, you have your card and everything on it. I never knew, and this was something with me. I don't know if all banks do it, but because I wasn't really doing that with Wells Fargo, but you could actually tap your phone onto the ATM and take money out. I was like, where have I been? Okay, 10 toes down. I got just like yesterday, child called me old or whatever, but I just now discovered how good a lettuce wrap is. Like a burger and a lettuce wrap. Cause I went to Five Guys yesterday. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to cheat because I've been eating salads or whatever. Everybody's like, oh, that's boring, whatever. Not if you buy like certain salads, they know how to dress it up. I've been going to this Mediterranean spot like by my job. Do Jesus, they food is expensive. Like I be coming out there every day, the bowl and everything with the drink, $23, $25. I'm like, Jesus, why is food so expensive in Midtown Manhattan? But anyway, everything is going up except my coins. That's the fucked up part about this damn country, right? But anyway, so so I've been eating healthy and stuff because the diet has to go with the exercise and everything. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna move for a burger, but I'm gonna do a lettuce wrap instead. And the funny thing is, I used to make them when I was at Shake Shack when I used to work there, but I never ate them. I was like, I'm doing buns. Why nobody told me that a lettuce wrap burger, like a burger with no bun, is actually much tastier than eating it with the bread? Now you can't keep me from eating no damn lettuce wrap double patty burger with lettuce and with the lettuce is the wrap, the tomato and the pickles and the onion. I can't even comment on Never Campbell because yeah, Never Campbell hates horror, but is extremely grateful for the love. And it's funny how a lot of people who are not really a fan of horror, um, well, they ain't been crooked to me. So they was crooked. Well, I was gonna say they was crooked to Wendy Williams, but Wendy, no, she in where she in the position she in because she let her damn son use her stuff, and he took advantage of his mother. But anyway, speaking of Scream, let's get into Scream news. So Matthew Lillard recently, speaking, yeah, they had a Halloween party screening at Cinespia. I don't know where that is. I'm assuming it's in LA because I've never heard of that theater. But yeah, I remember they were talking about they were going to be doing a Scream screening or whatever. I think we were doing one out here too at one of the AMC's, but I didn't get around to going to see it. Plus, I've seen that movie so many times. I'm like, do I really want to go to movies? But then again, it's like when you around the fandom, the people that really love the franchise, it's like, yeah, that's why you go. Kind of like when Back to the Future had its anniversary screening recently. But anyway, so Matthew Lillard, who may or may not be in Scream 7, physically, maybe verbally, but not physically, based on some of the rumors, he basically said, fuck ice. And I heard that. So everybody out here talking about, well, Melissa Barrera can't be speaking on politics and this, that, and the other. But look, we had Matthew Lillard standing on something and speaking out about it. And I did see people get mad. Like one lady said, why the actors have got to get political? Why they can't just act? I'm like, you dumb bitch. First of all, how you not even aware that everything is political? Art is political. This administration has made everything political. They've figured out how to market politics. Because we got the master marketer, the president, who sit down here acting like he doing everything, but what he really supposed to be doing, what people voted him in for. I ain't vote for his ass because I knew he was a goddamn con artist. I'm from New York, so we was aware of Don the Con from the beginning. But anyway, so yeah, he was out here saying fuck ice, and then that's what he said on the stage. The audience roared, with cheers. He said, in this time, in this city, we need to lead with love. Do not forget that shit in this moment. Not to be political, but to be political as shit. He also urged those in attendance at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery to vote yes on Proposition 50, a ballot initiative that would redraw California's congressional districts to cancel out the 5 extra GOP seats created in Texas. Because that's what they're trying to do in Texas. They're trying to redistrict so they can steal votes and all this other stuff. So they're like, yeah. Well, Gavin Newsom said that he was going to start redistricting or redrawing their congressional district maps or whatever, because if you're going to do it over there, if you're trying to steal seats in Texas, we're going to steal 5 seats in California. So y'all want to play this game? We're going to play it with you. Fuck all that Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high mess. Speaking of which, Margaret Cho posted this thing earlier. Let me see if I still got it in my photos. Because I was saving a whole bunch of, oh, yeah, I got it. She said, I want a Democrat to get bit by a zombie. I want a bloodthirsty, feral, hot-headed warrior creature who will stop at nothing to win. Where are my political animals who will fight tooth and nail for what is right? I'm sick of the high road. It's gotten us here. We need a new route, a low-down, dirty one. And I totally agree with that. It's like, I've been saying that for the longest. Gone are the days where you could reach across the aisle and be reasonable with the other side and come to a solution. They're not willing to do that. We want to take, and give nothing in return. It's the same thing. Like I even thought about doing a whole Trump 60 Minutes thing. I was like, I'm not even wasting my time on that bullshit ass interview because that's what that was. That was like the host, the woman interviewing him basically gave him an orange hand job. That's literally what that was. That was like a softball interview. She ain't really get to ask him nothing. He went on rambling about a bunch of nothing. And you already know, and I told y'all from the beginning, when he got his when David Ellison got his hands on Paramount and CBS was a part of it, and he went running that crazy ass bulldagger, Barry Weiss, what was gonna happen? And you already saw, oh, for the Simons, this amount of years, Trump sits down exclusively with I said, there it is. People don't listen when I talk, like I see the shit before it happens. And then when y'all see it, then it's like, oh, clutch the pearls, really? Yes. Why is it that I can see in multicolors and people only see in black and white? And then when I point stuff out, they be looking at me like I'm nuts. And then a week later, the shit comes to life. So he literally said that you have to vote. If you don't vote, we are going down. So it's on us. And if you don't like that, I'm so not sorry. He also is perhaps, well, everybody knows he plays Stu Macher. That was like his most iconic role. And he's got a bunch of other parts coming up. So I'm looking forward to I think he's going to be in Five Nights at I think he is in Five Nights at Freddy's too, because he was in the first one, right? Playing the villain. He is in the second one. And then, oh wait, what was the other show that he's supposed to be doing? I think there's a Carrie TV series that's coming out next year. I believe they just wrapped on it maybe a week or two ago, and I believe he's in that as well. Yeah, they're just remaking every damn thing. So, and we already know that Matthew Lillard is going to be in the new Scream 7. To what capacity, as I said before, we don't know until we see the damn movie. He may or may not be alive, or his voice could be being used, or somebody who is personally connected to Stu might be committing these murders. That's in the new movie. So a lot of people's gonna be in this upcoming movie. Campbell's coming back, Courtney Cox is coming back, of course. Mason Gooding and Jasmine Savoy Brown are coming back. Scott Foley is supposed to be coming back. Isabel May is playing Tatum. Then we got Celeste O'Connor. We got Asa Gurman, McKenna Grace, Sam Reckner, Anna Camp, Joe McHale, and Mark Consuelos. All going to be up in this film. So shout out to you, Matthew Lillard. And I feel like we definitely need more celebrities to speak up against, what's going on in the world and, go against the establishment. I hate when people say, well, y'all need to keep y'all political views with it, but bitch, you on social media spewing yours. Why you get to say what you want to say, but a Matthew Lillard or somebody who doesn't align with what you believe gotta be quiet and keep their political views to themselves. Speak up. While we still have, while there's still a democracy and we still got freedom of speech. Because they're trying to get rid of that. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Matthew Lillard saying fuck ICE? I'd probably say fuck Christy Nome too, but don't nobody want to fuck her. So let me know what you guys think. All them damn bones. That's like literally a stick with a big old weave. That's what she looked like. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Yeah. But you said actors need to be political or Taco McKankles will censor movies. Oh, we're already trying to do that. That's why I feel like with all of a sudden Paramount Skydance wants to come in and buy up everything. Now they talking about, well, they bought up Paramount. I was like, focus on, and then he started praising them too. Like, oh, they're doing a great job over there. I'm like, really? Because you just bought it like 2 months ago. And I haven't noticed any kind of changes. Yeah, you nabbed the Duffer Brothers over there to come over there with Paramount. And I know Netflix is pissed off about that because the Duffer Brothers was Stranger Things. And then we have, you got that crazy bitch over there running the news department. And then you lost Taylor Sheridan because y'all try to come over here and tell him what he wanted, what to do with his stuff. And then you trying to make him kind of lean right with his political views, which I don't think, well, I won't say I don't think. Taylor Sheridan is not a redneck. He's not somebody who is pro-Trump. He leans purple, which would be more like in the middle. So it's like you take a bit of one of the Democrat and the Republican side. You can see it in his work where he pretty much leans. So he's very partisan in a lot of his political stuff. So I don't feel like he is some right wing nut. And that's what they kind of wanted him to do with his stuff. He's like, that's not what I do. So I'm not going to be putting that in my stuff. And he got scooped up over there by what was it, NBC Universal, which is probably good because quiet as it's kept, Peacock could use a little help over there. They don't have no kind of IPs worth watching. And funny enough, I paid for Peacock, but there's nothing on that channel worth watching. So yeah, except whenever I want to watch the Housewives of Beverly Hills, that's why I keep it. But other than that, and then they have a couple of the movies on there that I'm like, oh, I didn't see this. Like I saw Megan and Megan 2.0 on there. I saw a drop. There's a couple of movies. They even got the new Jurassic World movie on there, which I already know I hated that freaking film. But and hated, I know hate's a strong word. I hated that movie. And I'm glad I bootlegged it. There was no way in hell I was paying to see money, pay money for that. So um I forgot where I was going with that. Let's move on. You can't beg and plead for solutions. Sometimes you gotta threaten for one. Well, that's what they be doing. Thank you, Cleveland. To my congrats on the 3K. Not Shaggy. Shout out, Scooby Doo. Who said Chrissy looking like a drag race season one? Okay, she do look a mess, and she think that look good. First of all, it looked like her face is melting. Her head is so big, she's skinny. Like, can you imagine what she looks like naked? Like, I know them ass cheeks is hanging and it's just wrinkled. You know what? I bet you her skin looked like. Remember the old lady in the scene from The Faculty when Sean Hannity was going to take the stand, was taking a shower, and the old lady came in. And then her skin was like looking or whatever, and then he touched the hair, and the half her skin started hitting the floor. That's what literally I bet you Christy don't look like naked. She looked like that old lady that when that little parasite was trying to suck all that water out her, it couldn't take because she was old and she had cancer. So exactly. Although I really hope they're done with Jamie Lee Curtis at Halloween because they've tried so many times to wrap up her story with Michael Myers, and those showdowns were a freaking letdown twice. The H2O1, it felt like it was rushed. Then y'all copped out and tried to say, oh, it wasn't him that she chopped his head off. His larynx was crushed, and he went and switched with the paramedic. And then y'all try to do it again with Halloween Ends, where y'all focus so much on this new character that y'all forgot Jamie and Michael supposed to have a showdown. Like it felt thrown in. So disappointed by both sequences. It's time to just revamp that. Not a Sharpay dog. So it's time to start over and reboot the franchise. Now, speaking of, it's time to reboot a damn franchise. Let's get an American Horror Story. So I was not expecting on Halloween to see a video on Instagram of Ryan Murphy announcing a 13th season of American Horror Story. And not only are we getting a 13th season, but he pretty much announced the dream team. And so this cast is stacked. I'm still a little on the fence. The show look at this point, y'all better this script better be pristine because if it sucks, Molly, you in danger, girl, in the words of Oda Mae Brown. So um, in a video, as I said, shared on Halloween, he confirmed the cast for Ryan Murphy for the upcoming season of the series expected to premiere in 2026. The cast of HHS 13 includes Ariana Grande Frappuccino, Sarah Paulson, who apparently was just speaking about how she accidentally spit a chip in Kim Kardashian's eye when they was having a conversation, whatever. Evan Peters, Angela Bassett, Kathy Bates, Emma Roberts, Billy Lord, Gabourey Sidibe, Leslie Grossman, and Jessica Lange. Now, these are all like the dream team of people that we've seen in past American Horror Stories. And they're all coming together. And it says, "Surprise, bitch. I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me," read a quote in the teaser. The quote was delivered, of course, as y'all know, by Emma Roberts' character Madison Montgomery from the American Horror Story Coven season, which has got a lot of people to believe that this is probably another chapter in the Coven franchise. Because let's be clear, we haven't had a good season of American Horror Story since Coven. And I feel like because we're getting this season, that's probably why they want to go back to that, because they knew that was like the best season that they had. So now it feels like it's just going to be a greatest hits moment. We're going to bring all these people in, but the question remains: okay, you can revisit American Horror Story Coven. We can play in that sandbox, but don't just be giving fan service and just putting a bunch of Kathy Bates and all these people up in there when and then the script is trash. Like, it really need to be pristine, because here's the thing, like I've said, like, even with Ryan Murphy's work, we've all been relatively disappointed with a lot of his stuff over the years. I don't even know if I care enough to even want to watch this new lawyer show, All's Fair. Y'all can let me know if y'all plan on watching it, if the show was good. If a couple episodes come out and people start speaking raves about it, I might give it a gander. But because we got a certain plastic bitch on that show, I don't know if I necessarily want to watch it. And thank you, Jesus, Miss Kardashian is not on this upcoming season of American Horror Story. No, leave her back. Leave her where? Back there, in the words of Vivica Fox. Leave her back there. We don't want her in this damn show. And Ariana Grande, she's been getting into a lot of acting. We got lately, and I'm loving it. She did Wicked for Good, which is coming out in like what, the end of the month. She just wrapped Focker-in-Law, which is a sequel to Meet the Fockers and all this stuff. She is playing the Focker-in-law. She's marrying Ben Stiller's son and his wife's son in the movie, and she's playing the daughter-in-law, whatever the case is. And I think they're trying to bring Barbara Streisand back. And I think, who was the grandfather? It was Robert De Niro, right? So they're trying to bring. I don't know if they got them all to be in there, because I haven't been keeping up on it. But that's the rumor, that they were trying to get Barbara Streisand to come back. She played the grandmother, or she played his mother. So that'll be interesting to see if that movie is good, and if Ariana can do comedy. I mean, yeah, she's in SNL, but SNL is not a high bar when we talk about comedy. They usually hit or miss, usually more miss than hit when it comes to the jokes. So, um, yeah, what else did I want to say? Okay. So then he also said that Grande starred in, as y'all remember, this is not her first time. I should also point this out. This is also not the first time she's appeared on a Ryan Murphy series. Remember, she was on the show Scream Queens, which I think lasted 2 seasons. She played Chanel number 2. And so she co-starred with Emma Roberts and Billy Lord on the show, and then they played Chanel Oberlin, and Billy Lord played Chanel number 3. So they all was going by the name Chanel on the show. And so um, Jessica Lange said, like, she wasn't coming back, right? Then she said she wasn't coming back to the show, and now she coming back. First of all, let me show y'all the I was like, wait, let me pause. Let me pull up the thing if y'all didn't see it on the Instagram, but I gotta mute the thing because it's music and I don't want to get in trouble for that. So yeah, that's the thing. It's got the picture and the cast, and it's good to see Evan Peters come in. Look, he could use a hit too, because Tron didn't do all that well at the box office. It'll be interesting to see how they squeeze Angela Bassett in, because Angela Bassett is on her that other show. She has 2 jobs. She got another job, I should say, 911. She's over there. And now she's coping with the fact that they done killed her husband off the show, Peter Krause, who played Bobby. So they have that. So the full cast, as y'all can see: Jessica Lange, Ariana Grande, Sarah Paulson, Evan Peters, Kathy Bates, Angela Bassett, Emma Roberts, Billy Lord, Gabourey Sidibe, and Leslie Grossman. And we haven't seen Gabourey in a minute, so it'd be good to see her popping up back on the screen. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Are you excited for the upcoming season of American Horror Story, or do you also, like me, have trepidations? Like, yeah, y'all got to really work to get back into the good graces of the people, because I honestly think that you burn up with the last couple of seasons of how bad this show has been. I just don't feel that the fandom is as excited over American Horror Story coming back. But when you go and pull back the Dream Team, Oh, the homosexuals is gonna be livid for this whole situation. So the gays are gonna be living, but I don't know about anybody else. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. So when I was working the Sabrina Carpenter show, um I looked over to my right and I seen this white dude in a Woody from Toy Story costume. And I'm like, is that Rogers from the Las Culturitas podcast? I was looking for Bo and Yang because I always think them two were attached at the hip. No, he was there with some white dude that he was hunching. So, or hunching him. Somebody zooming one of them. But who zooming who? In the words of Aretha. So I was like looking, I'm like, is that him? I'm not sure if that's him. It looked like him. And so later on, I was like, when able, let me go and check his IG story or whatever. And lo and behold, it was him. I was like, I'll be knowing my celebrities when I be spotting them. So yeah, Matt, I saw you in the 100s. And look, for those who want to sit and throw shade, trust and believe, the 100 seats is expensive as hell. There was people that, because and here's the thing I don't understand about people like Sabrina Carpenter, Lady Gaga. I don't know if Mary J. Blige did it, but the three of them did do this one thing. Y'all didn't put the screens on the eighth floor, and people was upset about that, so they couldn't really see the show, whatever. But Lady Gaga and Sabrina Carpenter have sold limited obstructed view of the show, so they're on the side, and you can't even see. You couldn't see the stage. You couldn't see her. You couldn't see the screen. You couldn't see nothing. And I'm like, child, I'm so glad I work where I work because if I paid that kind of money. And people was getting mad. They was like, "Oh well, can we go to?" They want to go to guest services and try to get tickets. I was like, mm-mm. It says on the Ticketmaster ticket, it says on there, and I showed it to them because I had to deal with them complaints the whole show, many of shows. If it says limited view, it's basically saying you knew what you paid for when you got the ticket, so you can't be accommodated. You're gonna have to just live with the point that you was there. I don't mean to laugh, but it was like you were in the room, you was there, you got to hear her sing Man Child and all them other songs, and it is what it is. But anyway, let's see what the peoples are saying. I tell you, this had me gagged, and I had to check it wasn't at Pooh Crash. Oh, because you thought it was like, yeah, because of what I was thinking about, I was like, is this for real? Like sometimes it's hard to know when something's real. But then, but I didn't think that honestly. Because when I got the information when the story came out, it was from Variety, like and then I'm like, okay, this is the major trades. If the mainstream major trades is posting this, then it's not made up, it's not fake, it's not AI, it's not all the things that everybody says now. Because if the trades is talking about it, okay, it's legit. It's not coming from some low rent, smaller blog or what. I mean, a blog like you said, Pooh Crave. It was like, I gotta make sure this came from Pop Crave and not Pooh Crave. Since cover, you didn't like not my bestie child. When you talking about Lady Gaga. I did not I had a love-hate relationship with Freak Show. Hotel was okay. You know what I was thinking? I was kind of thinking I was gonna revisit the old episodes of American Horror Story. Maybe I need to do that so I could do like a rewatch and refresh the brain. So maybe I'll do that. I'll go back to the beginning and start watching the old shows. But no, Apocalypse I didn't particularly care for. That's when Apocalypse, that was the one where Evan Peters had the blue hair. I haven't watched since Double Feature. I never even cared to watch the trailer for the New York City. Yeah, New York City was terrible. And I was like, I'm loving the idea about a horror movie based on somebody killing, homosexuals. That's how long have I been saying we need a gay slasher movie. And y'all kind of just played up this, let's get into cruising and let's do all these other things from the past and throw it in the gumbo. And I felt like y'all messed it up. Yeah, it's like everybody got jobs. Kathy Bates doing Matlock. Angela Bassett is doing it. So they got to find a time of when they're going to shoot it. Maybe what's gonna happen? Yeah, I'm trying to wonder when would they film it? Because I mean, they're gonna have to wait until their seasons are over, and then they could all kind of get them together and be able to film it. Because Ariana Grande also supposed to be going on tour next year, right? And we already, I don't think we talked about on the show that they fired one of the actors on Matlock because he assaulted his co-star, the Asian girl. This will be a perfect opportunity to have a sequel season to Cult, and considering Trump is president again, and they hinted at witches in the final scene. You know what? That might, since you're bringing that up, that might be what it is. I think he might be inspired by this whole Trump situation and Cult and the whole intertwining that with, yeah, they hinted at the witches. Because I was like, wait, did we get a sequel to Coven already? But I think that's what I was, when you brought that up, that's what I think you were referring to. So it could be a mixture of that. It could be Cult and Coven being mashed into one, and then expanding on that whole cultish thing, and then witches and all that other stuff. So yeah, it would make sense, especially in this crazy as America. I mean, I feel like we living in a real life horror damn movie. Except instead of it being over in 90 minutes, it's going on for fucking 4 years in total. Hmm. Sequel to Coven. He said, "This really is the dream team. And Ariana is the cherry on top. I just hope it's for at least 5 episodes and not a premiere episode and occasional cameos throughout the season." I feel like what they'll probably do with her, because she's such a big superstar, and plus with her being in Wicked and, you know, and that sort of thing. Child quiet as it's kept. I feel like Ariana Grande has had a better transition into acting than Lady Gaga. And I feel like with this, um, I feel like they're gonna definitely make her the center in some sort of way. Like, I don't think they'll just kind of throw her in as a cameo because people get pissed off. So I could definitely see like Ryan Murphy wanting to utilize her as much as possible. All right, y'all. So now let's get into this mess. Let's talk about David Harbour and this drama surrounding Millie Bobby Brown. Now, I was not expecting over the weekend to come across a story regarding Millie Bobby Brown filing a harassment suit against David Harbour. Now, I will say this: she hasn't come out and addressed this, and David Harbour hasn't come out and addressed this. This is all coming from the Daily Mail, and all the tabloids are starting to pick it up. So let's just get into it, and then I'll give my overall thoughts. So the Enola Holmes actress filed a lengthy complaint about Harbour before the series started filming its fifth and final season. Daily Mail reported on Saturday. Now, reps for Brown, Harbour, and Netflix did not immediately respond to Page Six's request for comment. Millie Bobby Brown filed a harassment and bullying claim before they started shooting the last season, a source told the outlet. There were pages and pages of accusations. The investigation went on for months. Now, Harbour, who's 50, reportedly faced an internal investigation over Brown's claims, though the outcome of the inquiry is unknown. Additionally, Brown, who's 21, allegedly filmed the series finale accompanied by a personal representative on set. The Hellboy star was allegedly not accused of any sexual impropriety in the complaint. So we need to reiterate that there was no sexual harassment, sexual assault, any of that other stuff. It was just saying that it was bullying and all this other mess. Now, in the popular horror series, Brown, of course, but wait, first of all, is Stranger Things horror? I would think more supernatural than anything. So, Brown portrays main character 11, while Harbour plays her father figure, Police Chief Jim Hopper Jr. Now, in 2021, Harbour opened up about how he feels protective over Brown as they started working together when she was just a child. Now, we should point out that she was 12 at the time when she came on and did the show, and David Harbour was 41 when the show came out in 2016. And we're coming up on 10 years, 5 seasons of a show in 10 years. Make that make sense, but okay. And they done paid Netflix $400 million for 8 episodes. Really? Okay. And it was against wanting to put it in the theater, which I thought would have been dumb because I'm like, y'all need to make that money back somehow. He said, Millie and I have always had a sort of special relationship because I knew her when she was so young. I knew her before any of this big fame hit. This is what he said on the episode of That Scene with Dan Patrick podcast at the time. I have a real protective feeling for her. I have a real, worry. I worry about her and the fame and all that she has to struggle with. Well, it seems like she's been able to hold it together so far. I mean, look, she's married to the son of John Bon Jovi, Jake Bon Jovi. Shout out to his father. His band is about to do 9 dates at the Garden. I'm like, damn, y'all about to do something similar. It feels like a residency almost. Y'all doing 9 dates at MSG, and they're probably going to sell it all out. So that should be interesting. And I'm sure Millie Bobby Brown will be there with her husband, cheering on her father-in-law. So the Smile singer hinted that. Oh, so here's the thing. What I think has been going on with all of this. The harassment, I feel like if this is true, has aligned with the fact that this all stems from his relationship with Lily Allen, who I'm not sure, are they divorced or they still or are they in the throes of divorce? So yeah. So in case a lot of you haven't been paying attention, Lily Allen released an album called West End Girl. Every time I think of that, I think of the Pet Shop Boys. Because they do have a song called West End Girls. So that was probably a play on that, or the fact that she is from the West End. I don't know. But she calls her out West End Girl. She has a song on the record called Pussy Palace. Oh my God. Now, if you want to know like a good shady read in lyrical form and sung with with so much bite and sarcasm, listen to that song. Taylor Swift. Now, let me put my mouth to the microphone. Wait, let me hold it. Taylor Swift, take note. This is how you read a bitch down to the ground if you want to come for your ex in a damn conversation. I just want to say that because she be coming up in here with her little reads, and it comes across very much like grade school, like you still in the 10th grade, going like trying to get over a schoolboy crush. Like it don't have that moxie, it don't have that bite. But when I was listening to that song and she started dropping jewels and started going in on the girlfriend that he was doing, what's her name, Madeline? Child, I gagged when I listened to that song. So it is a good album. I know there was somebody that said that she's a has-been. I'm like, really? Because her album is doing relatively well, and people are here for it. So Lily Allen is not a has-been. It's just she hasn't done music in a long time because she was being a wife and a mother and all that other stuff. She wasn't out here being all like, oh, I gotta have a new record out every year just so hi, I'm over here, I'm relevant. Hello, pay attention to me. Like that's not every artist don't work like that, especially because from Lily Allen came out. She's like of my generation. Because I remember some of the songs and stuff that she came out with in like the 2000s and things of that nature. So yeah, there was like they've been together 4 years and they broke up because of they said his alleged infidelity. But the reality, well, the gag is, and the rumors are, is that they both had an open relationship. She understands he's traveling, he's an actor, she's traveling, she's a singer. So yeah, they got their high sex drives, whatever the case is. You go off and do your dirt, I'm gonna go off and do my dirt. But you gotta realize these are strangers. You get it in, skeet skeet in a condom, whatever, send them bitches on their way, and vice versa. These guys can bang out my coochie, and I'm gonna send them on their way. But we're not getting attached. We're not trying to formulate relationships with these people because we have a marriage. We provide the intimacy of the relationship. Sexual stuff, you need to get you need to empty out your balls. You need to empty out the clip and the gun, the boom boom gun, then you go over there and do what you got to do. But don't come over here and start catching feelings or doing secretive, sneaky shit. And that's what he did and broke the rules. And she's like, okay, well, now, nope. And you're not going to be forthright with what you're doing, and you won't be messy, allegedly. Then I can't be bothered. And that's what happened, according to the story. So I'm thinking what all this is that with all that drama that was circulating between David and Lily, he brought that to work. Because I always am of the motto that if I'm going through some things, any personal stuff with a relationship, you leave that shit before you walk into work, you leave it at the door. You don't bring that, you don't carry your baggage from home into your professional stuff. Like I know how to switch that on like that. When I'm in work mode, oh, whatever I'm dealing with in the end of the day is left behind me. And then when I go home, then I could wallow in my own misery or be ready to beat a motherfucker ass for doing me wrong. But Oh, wait, I can't be catching no damn assault charges anymore. Been there, done that. I ain't about that life no more. I am a reformed Christian, and if you believe that last part, then I got a house in Boca to sell you, and I don't do real estate. So, yeah, I think that's what all that is. Hopefully, they work all this out. This is bad timing, of course, because Stranger Things new season. I can't remember when exactly. I think it isn't supposed to come out around Thanksgiving. Like Stranger Things new season is about to drop soon. Um, and the Daily Mail coming out with this gossip, and you know they good for being messy over there at the Daily Mail. And I feel like that's where everybody's getting this source of information from. But yeah, so far he hasn't said anything, she hasn't said anything. So we're just gonna have to follow some of the rumor until they come out and say what the tea is. And if this, even if this is true, I know Millie probably pissed because she was like, I want to keep this in house. I don't want this to get out. Like, and now we still have to do press for this show. And I already feel like they're probably going to put David Harbour, like take him off the promotional situation because the trades are going to want to, all the people that's interviewing them is going to want to ask about the rumors. But if you have the kids there, I don't know. They might now Netflix and them are going to have to figure out, oh God, how do we address this? Because this is around the time promoting the show, or do they pull the legacy media card, which is, oh, don't y'all ask no hard hitting questions. So this is the big question we all want to know. Is it true? Like what's going on? Miley was good. Like we want to know the tea. So I'll definitely keep you guys abreast of the story as it develops because I'm like, there's really nothing more to add to it except to give you all a little bit of the, all the information that we have. But yeah, there's really nothing to bring up because she hasn't addressed it and said if any of it's true. So we're just gonna have to follow in the rumor for now, but I'll definitely keep you guys abreast of the story as it develops. So I want to hear from you all. What do you think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are on this Millie Bobby Brown, David Harbour situation, which basically means when Stranger Things. So I'm gonna be watching that show hard and try to see if I can notice any kind of tension between them. Because yeah, you could deliver your lines and you could do whatever needs to be required, but sometimes you could tell with people energy something's a little off or whatever. So I'll be watching. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Point. So let's see. Oh, you said Apocalypse is the sequel season of Coven, and that's what I was saying. I'm like, wasn't Apocalypse a part of the whole Coven thing? I could have sworn that we had a Coven sequel. I thought I was bugging. Grace Randall I don't like that bitch. She annoys me, and her voice is like nails on a chalkboard. Predicts Ariana will win Best Supporting Actress for Wicked for Good, but we'll see. Um, I've heard good things about Wicked for Good. Now I'm really contemplating whether or not I want to get a ticket to go see this movie. I might actually do it at the. So yeah, I definitely want to check it out. Cause I was like, I'm not really a big Wicked fan, but I did like the movie when I watched it on Peacock. Finally, it took long enough to get on there, so I might actually watch. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna buy a ticket. I mean, shit, if I got A list and I can get a free ticket out of the situation, why not, right? So I'm thinking I'm gonna go see the movie just so that way, just in case if she is nominated, um, then I could be a part of the conversation and really give like, oh yeah, she did a phenomenal job in the movie. Speaking of which, in awards, aren't the Grammy nominations coming out this week? I got the little message you sent me on Twitter. So um yeah, I think that's the word on the curb is that we're supposed to be getting the Grammy nominations this week. So when that happens, I'll probably have to come on because I'm like Friday, working one of the events. Hold on, because now my nose is running. God, it's cold. Anyway, um, yeah, the word on the street is yeah. So we'll find out. So we'll have to do it on Monday because I'm not gonna be able to do it on Friday because I got to work in the event. So we'll find out who the nominations and we'll go through all of that on Monday's show. Where does the Lee Allen sister and her brother Alfie? Oh, I forgot that was her damn brother, Reek from Game of Thrones. Um, Alfie Allen is selling the story because he's been sidelined by Netflix and he went into hiding. Child. Well, look, well, they might not need him when it's time to promote Doomsday. Well, by that time, they probably think all this will roll over anyway. But then again, the word on the street is that the Avengers Doomsday trailer is dropping in theaters when Avatar comes out in December. So if y'all want to go see the trailer, y'all probably got to go to the theater and watch it. Because I forgot that what was that damn movie? Fantastic Four did that, where they showed a trailer and you had I think it was the Avatar trailer. Speaking of which, they showed the Avatar trailer and then on Monday they dropped it on YouTube. So they probably gonna do the same thing. That it was like, okay, if you go see Avatar, you gotta go to the movies and see the new Avengers Doomsday trailer, and then you gotta wait until Monday to see the thing on YouTube. But then again, you already know somebody's shady gonna sit up there with their phone and screen record it and upload it to, all the channels and things. I'm not risking it because that's how you get your channels banned. But then again, Elon Musk don't care because I was watching some video. I think it was on Popcorn Planet, and this lady was talking about there was some child corn that was posted on Twitter, and it was up there for like a couple of days, and they was sending messages to Elon to take it down, and he wasn't doing it. So why would y'all be surprised? That man supports a PDF file, so why would he remove any kind of sexual content with children on the situation? And lately, when I be scrolling on things, I do be noticing that people be posting bestiality and child sexual. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, y'all need to be thrown under the damn jail. Teen Vogue has shut down their politics division. Oh, please. Of course it is. This is why I said we are cooked as a country. But this is why I keep telling y'all stop getting y'all information from legacy corporate media. They align themselves with conservatism and Trump and all that other stuff. So if you want the real news, you got to watch Sabby Sabs. You got to watch I've Had It podcast. You got to watch Kyle Kalinske and see all of that. Like, I didn't even watch the CNN. I mean, not CNN, the 60 Minutes interview. I was watching what everybody else was talking about it because I was getting all the information from them. I was like, I'm not sitting there through that interview. It's gonna be, I mean, it's gonna be a bunch of bullshit and lies. Speaking of shade, did you see Kayla's Halloween tribute to Toni Braxton wasn't man enough for me? She shaded Taylor and Travis. I did not see that. I gotta check that out, but child, nobody's buying that relationship. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them are, how you doing? You said it went to number 4 in native UK with no physical sales, digital downloads alone. It is the top selling digital download album. Physicals is out in January. Yes, where is Miss Balenciaga? Where is Myrtle Snow? We need to bring her back. Wait, didn't they burn her to death? Maybe that's where she is. I'm trying to remember. It's been a minute since I've seen it. That's why I said I'm thinking I might want to revisit. Now y'all want that child. I hate y'all because now y'all gonna have me. Y'all gonna make me want to revisit American Horror Story. Wondering how this will affect his future projects. Oh, you talking about David Harbour? Yeah, that'd be a good question because here's the thing. One of the things I realize with people, we are so I'll just use we as plural. Um, we're so reactionary with a lot of things where it's just like, oh, these are allegations, hasn't been proven. This is according to the Daily Mail. Let's cancel David Harbour. And it's like, if Netflix did the investigation, we don't even know what was the overall conclusion. So somebody's telling you tea, spilling tea to the tabloids. Well, what's the overall conclusion? So you sensationalize the whole situation. But what did they find at Netflix? Did they find that he was harassing and bullying her? And was it just Millie Bobby Brown or was it other people on set as well? Did he get nasty with Winona Ryder? Did he get nasty with, Will Byers? What's his name? Noah Schnapp or Kayla McLaughlin, the black kid, um, with the Irish last name. So did you kind of like, was it just more than one person? Or was it just her? Like, I just want to inquire. Minds want to know. But I could definitely believe that he was going through some personal stuff and decided to bring it to work, which you shouldn't have. Western Girl references that she did plays without auditions, and he was pissed and jealous because she got accolades in the UK equivalent of the Tony Awards. Well, look, some people just have the gift. And I know some people get mad at that. Some people are just naturally talented in that way, where it's like, no, I didn't have to go train to be an actor. I didn't have to go train to be a singer. Now, to maintain the vocals, I had to go take the vocal lessons and stuff. Speaking of which, since we talking about England and singing and things, I know Benson Boone had to cancel his tour in LA at the last. I mean, in the UK at the last minute, an hour before he was supposed to go on stage. And he said he couldn't get his voice to work. Look, that boy sings live. I worked the show. The stage do look like a big giant penis, but for the most part, he does sing live. He be up there doing all them flips and all the other craziness up in there. The vocals be on point. He be like doing his little runs and the screaming and all this stuff. So it's like you got to protect your voice out here, but also I feel like these kids are being worked to death. You got to like give them time to. There needs to be rest in between. I don't know what his touring schedule is like, but all that traveling, all that, the atmosphere changing depending on where you're stationed. It's just a lot that goes into being a live performer, and hopefully they work it out. But or he'll have to reschedule. But I wasn't that mad because I'm like, yeah, vocal mishaps happen. I was like, Lady Gaga had to do that when she was in the East Coast. She ain't bothered doing that with New York, even though we thought she was gonna cancel. But no, she did Philly, I believe. You said, will he be replaced? I don't know. I don't think so. I was like, look, they just need to. If it was something extreme, I could understand being fired or whatever the case is. But I don't think somebody's career should be ruined for bullying and harassment on a TV show that's now over. She ain't got to deal with him no more. But if he's continuously doing this on every set, then it's like, okay, now we need to have Kayla Says do a How the Internet Fell Out of Love with David Harbour. She could do one of those. And you said, but the Netflix silence and refusing to confirm and deny also doesn't help. Yeah, because they probably feel like there's nothing to talk about and we're not addressing it. Sometimes they're going to be like that, but I'm like, if there is something that's going on, and Millie Bobby Brown, who definitely is a big powerhouse with all the money she's making with her Netflix deals. If she want to speak out about it, she will. Or maybe that could be it too. It's the fact that she has these deals with Netflix that she don't want to rock the boat. And it's like, I'm not gonna come out and say nothing and ruin my business with this streaming service where I get to do all these films and shows and things, and Netflix is pretty much footing the bill. So I'm gonna just file what I gotta do, let them do their internal investigation and keep it moving. Yeah, could be. I mean, like we said, it could be a hybrid. I said, and Alfie Allen is that Alfie. She even dragged her latest grandmother in. But it could be true, as Hopper was all over the teaser trailer for part 5, but by the actual trailer, he was nowhere to be seen or heard. So last minute editing must have happened. Could have been. Well, look, I will still be watching the final season of Stranger Things. I ain't come all this far just to be like, okay, well, I'm not going to watch a show because David Harbour did alleged things in the show. 5 seasons of a show, we finally have the final track of it. I got to see how it ends. And plus, it's an ensemble cast. He's not the star. All right, y'all. So let's get back into the show. And let's talk about this mess. So apparently, MAGA Minaj was all over social media with her latest tirade of mess. And yeah, it looked like I gagged because not over what she said, because she always been saying stupid shit, but how some of her fans, and it was in my comments, and we don't get into it, how they were like, oh, I'm done with her. Like, this was the thing that finally woke y'all up to her shenanigans and be like, okay, I can't fuck with this broad no more. But so yeah, that's the gag and that's the thing. So apparently the latest situation is that she thanked Donald Trump for, I guess, going in on Nigeria, and they talking about that they out here killing Christian people, which is bullshit. But we'll get into it. So, and it pissed off some of her gay fans too, especially because the way Christians are, well, how queer people are treated, especially within Christianity. So Nicki Minaj's social media presence lately has increasingly put her at odds with her fans. Most stood by her amidst her online spat with Cardi B, where she said that the Bronx rapper's oldest daughter was a roach and a monkey. Which, shout out to, who was it? Was it Key Mac from the show, who said that he can't mess with her because y'all be real selective when it comes to y'all Caribbean women and how y'all be calling people roaches and monkeys. So y'all want to get on Cardi B for calling a girl a monkey, but when Nicki Minaj does it, all of a sudden y'all, it's a different situation. No, we don't move the goalposts when it comes to colorism. Colorism is colorism, and we're gonna call it out. We're gonna call it out for whoever decides to spew the colorism, regardless of who it is. We ain't gonna be selected because it's your fave. But let somebody else you don't like say it, then all of a sudden you want to come out with your glittered pitchforks and pitch a bitch. So now she found herself under even more scrutiny as she cozies up with Republican politicians and shows her support for the orange idiot in chief. Now, on Saturday, Minaj posted a screenshot of a true social post from Trump to Twitter that talked about how Christians in Nigeria are facing an existential threat and that he is making the country a country of particular concern. She praised the president and said that she felt a deep sense of gratitude because we live in a country where we can freely worship God. We can freely worship God, but you go after anybody else that you do know in this good old United States of America, we have a multitude of different practices and religions. Jewish people practice what they practice, Muslims practice what they practice, Christians practice what they practice, even them fucking Scientologists practice what the hell they practice. But overall, Pentecostals practice what they practice. You know, there's so many different iterations of religions that people abide by. So only Christians is what matters. And that's what I think people have a genuine issue with is that people try to act like, and don't let's not forget Catholics. I was raised Roman Catholic. So I don't practice organized religion. I live a more spiritual path. But the one thing I don't like, I'm just like, okay, live and let live, go and let have. Let go and let God. I was trying to find every other phrase. Now, all jokes aside, it's like I don't mind. People believe what you want to believe. If you want to worship a goddamn tree, worship a goddamn tree. But the reality is, don't try to indoctrinate your beliefs on me and say that you're more superior in your religious beliefs than what my religious stuff is. Don't step on what I believe because you feel like what you believe is more superior. And that's what this feels like here. And to me, Trump ain't no damn Christian. He's a grifter. He's a grifter. He's a con man. And he's going to jump on whatever the populist situation is going to be. We're going to break this down and I'm going to let you know what this all is about because this ain't about no goddamn Christians. This all has to do with Israel. So he posted this long ass post and I'm going to read it. So hold on because I got to bring it up. He said, should I even show y'all? You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to show y'all the what his stupid lie social post is because he ain't on Twitter. He said Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists, here he goes with that word. Radical Islamists are responsible for their mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern, but that is the least of it. When Christians or any such group is slaughtered, like is happening in Nigeria, 3,100 versus 4,476 worldwide. I don't know where he's getting all his information from. It's probably what these idiots are telling him, but whatever. Something must be done. I'm asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman Tom Cole and the House Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and report back to me. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria, the numerous other countries. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. Well, you already know the MAGA Christian nutbags is what's really trying to dominate our whole situation in regards of them trying to infiltrate politics. I could have sworn that last I checked, we weren't supposed to mix politics and religion. That was what the separation of church and state. I could have sworn that's what was going on with that. But I guess when Christians buy into a lot of what's going on in our good old United States of America, and that's with 3 Ks, you want to push forth a lot of your agenda and money talks and it don't take much for Trump to give you what you want as long as you willing to pay a little coin tada because he's a whore. He can easily be bought, kind of like his wife. Now MAGA Minaj went and said the following. She said, reading this made me feel deep sense of gratitude. We live in a country where we can freely, because there was a lot more to that, we freely worship God. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. That's not what they run on, though. They want you to just believe in lockstep what they want. Numerous countries all around the world, and I said that last part, are being affected by this horror, and it's dangerous to pretend we don't notice. Thank you to the president and his team for taking him seriously. God bless every persecuted Christian. Let's remember to lift them up in prayer. And you already know that this already pissed a lot of people off. Like, why are you aligning yourself with her? One person said, "Oh, Roland Martin, shout out to him." He said, "Child, Trump isn't even a Christian. He's a charlatan." I couldn't have said that better myself. Let me like that comment. Then it's one Rambunctious Gus, who you know is an adult entertainer, and we know each other, said Nicki and Azealia on the same boat. Gross. And then they went and posted this guy, see the persecution of Christians in Israel. They're spitting on them. I hope your president will address this issue. So, yeah, you got kids, the ones with the yarmulke and the little strings hanging on their pants. They literally spitting on people. You got this old man that's smacking this woman, this Asian woman. I'm not even going to show y'all the video. Like, I'm literally looking at it as I'm explaining to y'all. An older Jewish guy walks up to the woman, smacks her. She's talking, got a headpiece on. And then this kid walks by and smacks on the back of her head with a backpack. So this is what we're doing. And talking about you care about Christians. I don't care about Christians. I told her this all has to do with Israel. But I told her I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to bring it all in a second. So they said, another person said, girl, Trump is threatening to start war with Venezuela and putting Trinidad in the middle of it. And you supposed to be Trinity. And your goofy dumbass is endorsing him. They should have kept your stupid ass in Trinidad. OMG. And then, child, one person put one thing about her and rapists and literally showed a video of Kamala Harris going, so they are eating her up over there on Twitter, and rightfully so, because I always feel like if you don't know what the hell you talking about, keep your mouth closed, niece. Another person said, yeah, sit this one out, please. You have no idea about the intricacies of Nigerian national politics. In Nigeria, we have families where one parent is Christian and the other Muslim. So stay out of our national politics, because when Nigerians are caught up in endless killings, you're safe in your own space. At Nicki Minaj, focus on Sudan, Cameroon, Tanzania, Uganda. With shout out to Zoran, he about to be the mayor tomorrow, and we got a Ugandan mayor that's going to be, running New York, and other African countries that have lifelong presidents who subject the majority of their people to abject poverty. Nigeria needs weapons to fight insurgents, and this move will hurt Nigeria's fight against these terrorists because the U.S. government will not sell weapons to us. This happened in 2014, 2015, hashtag bring back our girls. Did you know most of those girls were never recovered alive? Kind of disappointed with this post, but everyone is entitled to their opinion. You could fund a couple of schools in Nigeria effortlessly, but somehow that doesn't cross your mind. Well, that's because she's busy trying to get she spent all her money on Papa being his special needs stuff. So she ain't got time to be spending money on, Nigeria and all the other stuff. But this was another one that I came across that I definitely felt like hit the nail on the head. So shout out to Deji21_04 said, I'm Nigerian. Feel free to visit Nigeria again and stop parroting every propaganda you read on the internet. The recent killings in the North Central region have nothing to do with the Christian genocide or religious-based killings. Matter of fact, more Muslims are killed in total. However, the killings in the Muslim states of Kwara, Katsina, and Zamfara are ignored by Western media, while those in Plateau of majority Christian state is being selectively propagated as a Christian genocide. And then they also have in parentheses, note these states are all in the same region in Nigeria, in parentheses. We Muslims just happen to have the least Western connection to spread propaganda. However, even if we did, those spreading this propaganda don't even care about Muslim lives. The recent killings are by suspected herders of the Fulani nomadic ethnic group alongside local bandits, which have been remixed by Western and pro-Israeli Christians and some Eastern Nigerian Christians as jihadists motivated, which is far from reality. Meanwhile, they're literally suspected herders of the Fulani ethnic group fighting over grazing rights and farmers, which escalated over the years to bloodshed and kidnapping. The actual religious extremists are Boko Haram, Located in the northeastern borders in a predominantly Muslim state where their victims are predominantly Muslims, they're located in the northeast of the country around the borders with Niger Republic and Chad, and they're being suppressed by the military over the years. At Nick, and they added her too. So it's like, if you want to know a lot of stuff. That's why I always tell y'all Google is free and it's your friend. So run up there and do this. And he even continued on to say this, and this is why I've been saying for the longest. Why do we always assert ourselves in other people's shit when we got so much stuff that we got going on in the United States of America that we need to be dealing with? But we got time to be invading in Venezuela, and then we got time to be going to Mexico, and you got to be time to be going to Nigeria. Like, why are we invading everywhere else and giving money to all these other people? But we got food stamps being cut off. Well, but it was somebody that he was going to give people half. I'm like, that's not your call. You don't get to withhold food stamps while you have some tight ass Great Gatsby style Halloween party at Mar-a-Lago, or Mar-a-Looney, as I like to call it. So yeah, one person says seems many African countries still cannot manage their country without help of hated white men. And then what he went on to say for Waz, who I just was reading his long post, he said, "We can and we never ask for your help. You interfere within other people's business uninvited. Iraq, Libya, Afghanistan, Vietnam, Cambodia, Panama, etc. all bear witness. No country you've invaded and left have had peace and prosperity, rather destruction and refugees. Our country's government never asked for your help or interference. Rather, pro Israel Republican politicians took this disinformation to Trump to shift attention from the situation in Gaza." Well, yeah, when you pretty much obliterated Gaza, go on to the next brown thing. And that's what they do. They want to just colonize and invade and cause genocide on black and brown nations. Remember, y'all may not know this, but like with the guy that was running Libya, didn't they anally rape him and then killed him, and then replaced him with an even worse leader? So they said kindly focus on the over 1K5 gun. Oh, I think they meant 1.5K gun deaths in America every month. America has far more gun deaths than Nigeria. Well, that's probably a fact. So yeah, this is all the stuff because a lot of people don't like to come with information or Google schmoogle do whatever. So I had to come with all the receipts. Because I stay with the research. Now they also said that Trump said that the precaution of Christians in Nigeria may result in swift military action for the United States if it continues. In an interview with Al Jazeera on Sunday, a spokesman for Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs denied any targeting of Christians, saying, "We are not proud of the security situation that we are passing through. But to go with the narrative that Christians are the ones being targeted or the only ones being targeted is not true. There is no Christian genocide in Nigeria," the spokesperson said. "We continuously made our point clear that we acknowledge the fact that there are killings that have taken place in Nigeria, but those killings were not restricted to Christians alone. Muslims are being I gotta keep changing the narrative. Muslims are being unalived. Traditional worshipers are being unalived. The majority is not the Christian population." And people will sit and run with what he's saying because they'll call them radical Islamists and all this other stuff. And then it's fact because it's coming out of him. And what people need to realize, Trump does not tell the truth at all. He tells his truth. And he wants you to buy into whatever truth he pulls out of his ass. And that's always kind of been his MO. So people really need to stop believing the shit that comes out of his mouth. Because that's what it is. Bullshit. Down to the T. Because he even said something on 60 Minutes about some demo that they told him there was some Democrat that he was watching on TV that were bringing up trans people or whatever. And the reporter asked, "Who was it?" "Oh, I don't want to tell you." What the fuck you talking about? How you bring something up? You said it was a Democrat that you was watching because apparently he only thinks Democrats are the ones that's on food stamps. That was also his belief. The dementia is dementia. Like you literally see the brain rot happening in real time. And he didn't want to tell her because it didn't happen. You make shit up. All he does is pull things out of his behind. I don't even know whether he's even aware he's coming or going. Like you had the prime minister of what was it, Japan or China, one of them, had to direct him on how to walk because he didn't know where the hell he was going. Like we literally see he about to tip over any moment. The man is a mess, and you're an embarrassment to this country. But on the libs, Now, one of Minaj's fans quote tweeted her post praising Trump and said that they are tapping out of being a fan, writing Nicki as a diehard fan who genuinely sticks beside you through every single scandal. You cozy up to this effing loser. I might actually just have to tap out. But we live in a country that wants to weaponize religion so your gay fans can be pushed into a corner and silenced. And she responded to that. Then imagine hearing that Christians are being murdered and making it about you being gay. I'll advocate for you the same way that I'm advocating for murdered Christians in Nigeria, like I always have. Just remember that diligently, compassionately. Just remember that too. She laughed and doubted that the person she was interacting with was a diehard fan and threatened to block them. Well, she always feels like, well, that's her go to anyway. She blocks anybody because she can't take, she could dish it but can't take it. And if and I do have a friend who is a diehard Nicki fan and a homosexual, and there's a lot of them. And she's talking about let's make America gag again. Not even with that pedo dick. So yeah, one of the people that I know, I'm gonna go through my comments. One person said practicing is one thing, forcing is another, and that's something that group never understood. To my Christians. Another person, oh, her favorite color is 5'2". Another person said, wow, guess this is finally it for me. Really, it was the unnecessary beef with Cardi, who did nothing to her. Well, to be fair, Cardi and the Barty gang were kind of poking the bear in regards to them sales. They weren't subliminal, like Cardi wasn't directly adding her, but she was poking the bear a little bit. So it was a little warranted. We just never knew it was gonna get this ugly. But being that they don't like each other, we should have known that was going to happen. But anyway, let's get back into the thing. He said, really, it was the unnecessary beef with Cardi who did nothing to her. I guess she's too dumb to realize Christians aren't the ones being persecuted. They are the ones trying to force their beliefs on the rest of us. They basically want the Christian version of Sharia law in the U.S. She's trash, and I will have nothing to do with her from here on out. Maybe she could perform for the Turning Point halftime show or get a Kennedy Center residency. You want to know something? That's not a bad idea. Then isn't Erica Kirk and them, instead of you threatening to drop the situation, hit Nicki up, she could probably use the coins, um, and have her perform at your little stupid Super Bowl thing. She'll never be able to do it because of her going in on Jay-Z, but she could do your Turning Point one. Another person said, well, I'm never the type of person to dislike someone for no reason, but she has always irked me. Now I know why. Well, and then another person said, even if she never said, it was hardly a plot twist. um, Another person said, why don't really rich people just let PR minions run their social media? I've been saying that too. It's like, and Nicki has the money to be able to get a PR person. The problem with her is that you need a good publicist and a lawyer because instead of you spilling all your personal tea regarding people robbing you and all this stuff on Twitter or wherever you was posting it, why don't you just have the lawyer go through your stuff and file the lawsuits? Another person said, to be fair, she admitted that when she said what she said about gay people in 2016. So yeah, this ain't the first time she's kind of been homophobic towards the gay, but because she wears a little pink wigs and looks like a drag queen, the gays will overlook it. What's that? The self-hatred amongst our community is real. Um, Sailor Mermaid said, this is not surprising. She's been told she's a Republican for a while. Hell, she supported Mitt Romney when he ran. Oh, I got something on that coming up when I get my overall thoughts. One person said nitwit Minaj. um, One person said she trying to get on Trump's good side to get her husband's record expunged. That ain't gonna happen. But crazier things have happened. Um, But yeah, I had a friend that was like, you know what? Oh, I let things slide. I didn't go in and make it a big issue, but that whole thing definitely caused him to no longer want to be a Nicki fan because he said that how he has a disdain for Christian people. And I guess it's how maybe it's a trigger because he was treated a certain way by Christian people. When you calling people y'all, as long as you holding that Bible on Sunday, you up in there hallelujahing, you're Gucci. But then after that, you can go back to being the bigot and the ignorant person that you are. And shout out to Jennifer Welch and Punks because they be going in on the Christian people. Don't nobody read them Christian people down to the floor better than them. So yeah, so I say this overall. Look, no one can ever take away the fact that Nicki is a talented rapper and that she's a beast with her pen. We got to give her props in the talent department. However, she has shown us many times that she isn't the nicest person, especially with how she's gone in on so many female. Like she can't get along with any female rappers. So it's like clearly you got to be the problem, and that's why I appreciate the music when it's good, regardless of the artist. But I don't do that whole fame worship shit like y'all do. Y'all need to go out and tussle grass because I don't understand how y'all be out here worshiping these celebrities. Because it's like when I've been around enough of them, I know what it's like. When you've been, in that scene in Wizard of Oz, when you see the man behind the curtain and you know how it all works, all the seasons they put in the gumbo, it's like, I can't be bothered. Now, look, this is the same person who admitted years ago that she's a Republican and wrote in a song that she was voting for Mitt Romney. But I should say this. She did clarify her words were satire performed in character and express support for then President Barack Obama. I think it was a bunch of damn backlash. She decided to backpedal. So I'm not buying it. And I still don't. So, and I use this quote all the time. In the words of Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. And as for Trump, based on what he wrote in that post on Live Social, what he's basically doing is trying to get the American people to hate on Islam. And that whole thing where I talk about radical Islamists, that is a racial bullhorn. But we know he's a racist. And the funny thing was he was on 60 Minutes, he was like, they call me a Nazi. They call me a Nazi all the time. I'm not a Nazi. Okay, but we're not gonna follow up on that. You just want to come out and say you're not a Nazi, but you sure is acting like one. In the words of Shug, and I was trying to say like Shug Avery from The Color Purple, you sure is acting like one. And you're using that radical Islamist, dog whistle, or I like to call it a bullhorn because it ain't even a dog whistle. It's like y'all saying it loud and clear. And you want us to fall in love with Israel, especially with the backlash that they're receiving because of, the Palestinian situation and y'all trying to buy up, David Ellison and, with the TikTok and trying to buy up all of the media so that way it turns right wing and they get to block all the stuff that we're putting out there where we're informing the people what's going on. So, Nicki, you need to realize that while your music doesn't have as much impact as it did in your heyday, as in the Pink Friday era and all other stuff, when you first came out and the first two albums, you do have a huge social media influence. She has 27.7 million followers on Twitter. So while you may not think that what you say doesn't hold weight, it does. Because clearly a lot of people responded to it, and you already know, like, her fans are not going to go and look up the shit. They'll spend hours doing deep dives on her ops. But when you actually have to do research on something substantial, it's fucking crickets. So that's why I decided to bring y'all the receipts in case y'all try to say that, well, where's the proof in the situation? I brought y'all the information. Do with it as you will. So, a lot of times, unless you're not somebody who can think for yourself, you're going to take every word of what she says as collateral. She's propagandizing. And you're going to take all of that mess instead of doing the actual research. So at the end of the day, ma'am, stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to, which is basically making music and having your Kanye-esque style crash outs on social media and leave the politics to people who actually do this. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? I know it was a long one, but when it comes down to that stuff and we talk politics, we got to break it down. And I ain't doing no goddamn 2-second Twitter type situation. Y'all gonna get all the mess. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Ciao. Let's see what the people are saying. Oh yeah, I did read that one. You said trademark MAGA Minaj. MAGA Minaj, child. Well, somebody need to. Somebody definitely need to pray for Onika. She needs some people on her circle to actually care about her. Cause that husband is a loser. He ain't really doing what needs to be done. Um, Her friends, she ain't got no real friends that can pull her to the side and be like, "Man, what are we doing? Like, really? This is what you jumping on? Like, you try like, it's giving like, you trying to be the new Azealia Banks. That's what it's giving. You idiots have a problem with the most successful and famous female rapper talking about the death of almost okay, whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about? Okay. Well, clearly I don't. You know better than me. Mm, yeah, well, you could suck my dick from the back. How about that, asshole? Um, oh no, I got rid of that asshole. It's like you can go fuck yourself. So it said delete this cunt. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about, but you got a picture of your ugly ass dog on as your little what you call it. It says she supports PDFs, no surprise. And it's about the most successful. Don't nobody give a shit about all of that. Like you're on the wrong damn channel with all that bullshit. To my well, you were mad about I ain't mad about I don't give a fuck about these people I don't know. I'm reporting news. That lady done wipe my ass, put food on my table, and clothes on my back. You think I give a fuck about her? I don't. I don't sit up in here and worship these celebrities like a lot of you retards do. And you said, looks like Lady Gaga is going to do a Mayhem Stadium leg. Well, goddamn. Is she? Well, I guess with the massiveness of the show, is she coming back and doing another round in the US as a stadium show? Because I'm like, that's gonna be a lot. I mean, it is a her stage is kind of elaborate and huge though. So um man, unless she's planning on coming out with new music to promote that, like who's gonna keep buying tickets to see this mayhem ball? Unless you're gonna come out with with like more new dark pop or whatever. I don't know, but I'll have to look into that story. Laura Dern's mom, Diane Ladd, passes at 89. They were both nominated for Oscars for Rambling Rose, 1991. So I'm start doing like T.S. Madison and Craig over there at Fag Talk. When y'all come up in here and try to get messy, y'all getting blocked. Oh, I should say Nicki. She love blocking people too. So I'm gonna start doing that. If you can't be civilized with the conversation. Oh, shout out to Diane Ladd, who passed at 89. I believe in what the Bible says between a man and a woman. Is that advocated, especially during the post nightclub? Well, apparently, but these faggots will still run around hiding behind her and tap dancing because, that Stockholm syndrome, that shit is real. They can have her. And a slow ass son. And you said Trump voters say they regret voting him. Well, they're gonna have to look. Did we in the fuck around find out era? Nobody told y'all dumb behinds to run over there and vote for him. And now y'all feeling the error of your ways. I already heard the Latino community is mad, and they've decided to. There was like a recent poll, and they're pissed off about the whole situation. I'm like, but you will vote for Donald Trump. That's what y'all did, and look what happened. Now that majority of y'all family members is getting deported, and a lot of y'all businesses is suffering because people are too scared to either come in to get food or to work in the kitchens and this, that, and the other. Now y'all regretting. Oh well, we're gonna have to deal with it for 3.5 more years. Well, this year's almost over. So what to say? 3 years and 2 months, or 1 month. We're in November. Damn, I forgot. The year's just about over. So what to say? We got 3 more years. Let's just say that. So, they say he's going to go after grocery stores. They have, yeah, I did hear that they were trying to give discounts for if y'all want to do like they want to give discounts for like for the if you, with the SNAP benefits or other stuff, but they were like, I forgot what the company was that decided. They were like, no, if the administration is gonna come after you. So here, this is where we are. A lot of people left Madonna after her Israel thing, but as a gay guy, I can side her. But her real ally track record is why I still support her. Where are all the straight men? They don't need our pink pound. Well, the straight men ain't really out here and aren't loyal to the pop icons like the gays are. No comment, but I'm a Nicki fan. I'm a Nicki fan, but I am not a bar. Pull up in the not pull up in the Sri Lanka. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can be a fan of the music, but that whole fandom shit, y'all be doing too much. The only songs I ever liked from Nicki was Super Bass and Starship. She do have some bops. She just need to stop talking things she don't understand. Child. And her birthday coming up, she's gonna be 43. Democrats are calling for a 60-minute investigation. Well, you know what? Democrats need to be petty too. Um, they definitely need to be petty in that situation, which is like, oh, so Donald Trump is gonna run around and sue people whenever they like he didn't he do that with Kamala? Oh, that was y'all were biased with Kamala and all that other stuff and sued them and they paid him like fucking idiots. And now you doing the same thing. Oh, I said y'all gotta play petty. Be petty. You set the precedents in the situation. You laid down the gauntlet. I'm just playing your game. I'm just gonna be the mirror in your situation. I'm giving you right back what you gave me. So if you're gonna call pulling investigations on your opponent, then I'm gonna do it back to you. And as simple as that. All right, chill. So now, speaking of suits, since we were just talking about a lawsuit, let's talk about this Drake lawsuit. So while Drake still got egg on his face over that whole not like us situation or whatever, he can't seem to get himself out of legal situations because now comes word on the street that they was over there cooking the books at Spotify. And here's the gag. I'm not surprised by this at all. So this came out, I think, last night, late last night or early this morning when this story came out. So according to Rolling Stone, they said a new class action lawsuit against Spotify alleges the company has turned a blind eye to mass scale fraudulent streaming on its platform and that one musician in particular has been the beneficiary of billions of fake streams. And that'd be Audrey Drake Graham. So the suit was filed, well, Aubrey, I said Audrey, Aubrey Drake Graham. The suit was filed in California District Court oh, that's why it was last night because I said I got it late when that story came out. It came out like 1 in the morning on Sunday night with rapper and cousin of Snoop Dogg, RBX, named as the lead plaintiff. While the most eye-popping allegations in the suit relate to Drake's streaming numbers, there are no specific accusations of wrongdoing against the Nokia rapper. Only Spotify is named as a defendant. Now, every month, under Spotify's watchful eye, billions of fraudulent streams are generated from fake, illegitimate, and/or illegal methods, like bots. The lawsuit states. Such mass scale streaming fraud, it continues, causes massive financial harm to legitimate artists, songwriters, producers, and other right holders. And I think all of this with the bots and all the other stuff y'all be doing for these mainstream stars, y'all make it really hard for an independent artist to come in and try to make something of themselves on these streaming platforms. Because I always thought, like, you know what, we can cut out the middleman. We don't need major labels anymore. You can just go out there, produce your music, and there's a lot of independent artists that are really good. And you can just post it on Spotify or Apple Music and all these other places, and you can get your music catapulted. But they make it even more harder for the smaller people because these mainstream record labels be pulling their little criminal activity. They give a little money to people within the corporations. And then we get these situations where y'all want to create these bots, making it seem like these artists are being listened to. Because there wasn't there a point where, like, I think when Drake's Scorpion album came out, like the overall hypation and promotion, they was putting on everything. All of a sudden, that album was in every damn musical genre. I'm like, he's hip hop. Why is he in dance and he's in pop and he's this and he's that? I mean, pop does mean popular, but there is a genre of a sound that goes with pop music. Even though people kind of look at pop as a dirty word, I don't. I like pop music, and I don't feel no qualms about it. So, um, streaming royalties are paid out through a stream share model where the subscription and ad dollars are put into a giant pool with the money divvied up based on each artist's share of the total streams. Most of that money already flows upstream to the most successful artists and biggest rights holders. In this type of shared pool model, fake streams hurt the other artists whose shares aren't inflated, which is literally what I was just talking about. Spotify and reps for Drake did not immediately respond for requests for comment. Now, while the lawsuit suggests that the use of bots is widespread on Spotify. The one example in cities pertains to Drake. It claims voluminous information, which Spotify knows or should know, proves that a substantial, non trivial percentage of Drake's approximately 37 billion streams are inauthentic and appear to be the work of a sprawling network of bot accounts. Yeah, how the hell are you listening to 37 billion? How 37 billion people streaming his music? And if they start to dig into this, I do wonder if other artists will be exposed in all of this as well. So they said this allegedly fraudulent activity took place between January of 2022 and September 2025, according to the complaint. It claims an examination of Drake's streams revealed abnormal VPN usage had obscured the location of the bot account streaming Drake songs. For instance, a lawyer claims that over a 4-day period in 2024, at least 250,000 streams of his song No Face originated in Turkey, but were falsely geomapped through the coordinated use of VPNs to the UK in an attempt to obscure their origins. The lawsuit also alleges that a large percentage of accounts streaming Drake's music were geographically concentrated around areas whose population could not support such a high volume of streams. No exact places or numbers were given, though the suit claimed that some streams reportedly originated in areas with zero residential addresses. The lawsuit also cites significant and irregular uptick months for Drake songs long after they've been released, as well as slower and less dramatic decay rates for Drake's music compared to his contemporaries. Decay rate refers to a typical streaming pattern where plays of an album or song naturally dwindle in the weeks and months after release. The lawsuit further claims that the number of streams of Drake's music attributable to individual accounts is staggering and irregular, with a massive amount of accounts listening to Drake's music doing so 23 hours a day. There is nobody listening to his music all damn day like that. You got to be out your damn mind. Like, I listen to music, but I don't be just listening to one artist all damn day. Like, that's giving obsession. Unless they pull on some stunt where kind of reminds me of like Superman. Remember when they had little monkeys that was like typing up hour on the hour, like they had them like possessively like doing that whole thing. I kind of wonder if like there's a way that you can leave something to play and then just to cook up the streams or whatever. But that's where I guess the bots come in. So I was like, where was I? Oh, they said less than 2% of these users, the lawyer goes on to claim, account for roughly 15% of Drake's streams, and about 9% of Drake's streams are attributable to less than 1% of these users. Now, as a result, the complaint claims Drake's music accumulated far higher total streams compared to other highly streamed artists, even though these artists had far more users than Drake. See, this is what happens because child, this is a long ass article. This is what happens when you open that Pandora's box, when you was going in on that not like us situation because you got your ass beat verbally. This is the problem with all these damn Young Money people. Y'all can come out with hits and things, but when somebody whoop your ass lyrically, y'all don't know what to do. Y'all want to cry foul, y'all want to cook the books, y'all want to make up lies, y'all want to do all this kind of temper tantrum bullshit to justify, oh, my feelings is hurt. And because you was over here worrying about, damn, we got to bring up Millie Bobby Brown again. First with David Harbour, now with you. Because remember, you was talking to that little girl in the DMs. And that's probably where a lot of those PDF file rumors was coming from, that Drake like I'm young. And y'all frontal lobe ain't developed yet, and he be trying to get up in y'all little panties. I don't know to, what extent he was over there trying to kiki with Millie, Miss Millie. I went down the store with Miss Billy. I was feeling mighty down. I was feeling mighty bad. But when I see you, okay, let me start doing the color purple. That was the Sophia say, I know there was a God. I know there was a God, and I'm coming home. That I know that I love that damn movie. But anyway, to get serious, let me get serious. um, with all this other controversial stuff coming out, and then you wanted to file your lawsuit against UMG and all this other stuff. Now I knew that when you pulling these little stunts and you doing that mess, that this is going to kick up a hornet's nest of people starting to dig into other things where some people were saying like you was benefiting from a lot of those things you was accusing Kendrick of. So now we're looking into those Spotify streams and saying that you was doing a little fraud. Well, I don't know if it was necessarily him, but Whoever was behind, I would think his team, his label, they got to look into all of that. There was some fraudulent behavior that was going on, and how those fraudulent streams, you're profiting off of them. That generates significant revenues for him and his company at the expense of other people. So people who should be out here, making that money and trying to, make a living fair and square from those Spotify streams, they're being hurt by y'all scamation situation because you racking up all the dough while these people are getting little cuts. Shit, I kind of wish that Spotify would run its model like OnlyFans. Because also, how that lady said she was giving out billions of dollars. So I'm not going to read this whole thing because it is a lot. If you want to check out the article, I did post it on my chrisavalon.com, but it is a Rolling Stone did the whole story. So to get to the last part, they said the proposed class action filed Sunday claims damages in excess of 5 million. It's asking that a federal judge certify the lawsuit as a class action, order Spotify to identify alleged victims, and oversee a jury trial seeking compensatory and punitive damages. So that's the latest on that. It's like, yeah, this is a long article. Like, y'all did y'all big one over there, Rolling Stone, with y'all little deep dive. But it was like, yeah, we'll be all day here reading this long ass article because let me see how long it tells how long the article is. 7 minutes, child. We ain't got that much time. I probably went over 7 minutes with just breaking all this down and giving my overall thoughts. So, speaking of those overall thoughts, I want to hear y'all overall thoughts. What do you guys think of this story regarding Drake and the latest on him, where he's got a lawsuit against Spotify? Well, he doesn't have. Somebody is going. I think somebody was related to Snoop Dogg. I can't remember from the beginning. But we have somebody from filing a lawsuit, basically claiming that the streams were fraudulent, and how a lot of people who are out here literally trying to make a living off of Spotify is suffering because y'all putting all y'all money behind a lot of these major performers. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. I was reading the Survivor Spotify thing. Um, Oh, and did I've been blocked that tied queen. Mike Johnson stabbed Trump in the back. Moses Mike, nuh-uh. And he said, and I guess JD Vance is getting investigated. You already know, like, all of this was gonna be coming. Like, y'all out here having y'all little fun. It's cute. But all this is gonna, y'all probably gonna get worse than what a lot of the people that followed Trump in his first administration. So now you're gonna get it worse. A lot of you, and I'll be cackling as it all happens. I've been seeing a lot of videos of people walking out of stores with carts of free food, and the MAGA say the president said they could do what? He ain't said that shit. Speaking of 60 Minutes, I talked about that. You must have just came in late. I talked about that throughout like sporadically throughout the show in different comments. I wasn't watching that foolishness. I saw Drake brought stock in a few fast food places, Dave's Hot Chicken. I don't think I've ever had that. A lot of people were hoping Kendrick would pop out for the World Series to perform, not only because the final. Oh, that would have been funny. And you already know. Speaking of which, I totally forgot to bring this up. You have people trolling Drake on social media because the Dodgers was playing Canada. So shout out for LA for Cali for winning. Um, like I said, can't wait for the Survivor Spotify documentary. These streaming numbers are clearly a shame. Of course they are, and somebody needs to really dig into Spotify. And here's the thing, this is why I am not a Spotify user. I have Spotify, but I don't pay for it. I only go on Spotify for podcasts. So Race Chaser and all this stuff, I go on there and I listen to that. I thought about putting my podcast and stuff on Spotify, but I was like, whatever. I'll stick to YouTube for now. And one of my friends said that he makes a living doing his videos and putting it on Facebook. So Maybe that'd be the next thing I need to look into. Remember when Snoop was saying artists don't make money from streaming? He said, if I had 10 million streams, where's the money? Absolutely. If I got 10 million people streaming my music, where is that money? And meanwhile, according to Magical Mermaid, the founder is worth 9.2 billion. So if you're a billionaire, where is all this money going? Why aren't artists being paid? So like I said, all these corporations, y'all just a bunch of goddamn criminals running around. Oh, child of ghetto. Speaking of criminals, let's get into this Braxton mess because well, the criminal part comes from Tamar with her accusations from Tawanda. But look, I finally watched the recent episode of the Braxtons, and things got good and nasty between the sisters, which is unfortunate because I'm like, girl, y'all are family. We are family, and y'all just out of here fighting and coming to blows. Yeah, things got physical in the episode. So the drama between the Braxton sisters pretty much heated up, and Tamar and Toni basically got into it over the former struggle with her mental health. Because yeah, they brought it up on the show where and Tawanda went in. She basically was talking about like Tamar, her mental health, and Tamar was basically like, yeah, my mental health is where it is because of y'all. And it's like, sis, no, at some point you got to take responsibility for your own shit. You can't be blaming other people for why your mind bad. I mean, I've always been truly of the belief that can't nobody make you go somewhere that you don't want to go. I'm not going to allow people to take like try to poke the bear, poke the bear, poke the bear, and get a reaction because can't nobody get a reaction out of you when they fight with themselves. Now, if you put your hands on me, I'm gonna punch you in your throat. That's a different story. You can say whatever the hell you want, but the minute you put your hands on me, oh no, it's fighting words. Somebody getting fucked up, and they ain't gonna be me. So, Two Fab had the preview. I already saw the episode. Um, and it all pretty much stems up, if you haven't been paying attention. Tamar decided to have her niece Ashley on her podcast to talk about alleged allegations that went down between Ashley and some inappropriate text messages that came from one of the sisters' husbands. Upon further investigation, and if you've been watching the show over the years, everybody pretty much knew it was Gabe. Then we kind of found out it was Gabe. The reality is, Gabe is no longer with us. He passed away. I think he had cancer a couple of years ago. He died. He's not here to defend himself, so therefore he can't speak on it. Now, when Toni was talking, whatever, she was pretty much saying that um, she wanted, if you want to bring Ashley on the show, we can bring Ashley on the show. Ashley has been on the show before. And if you want to sit and talk about, okay, what Ashley went through, yes, we could do it as a family collectively instead of you going on a podcast. But Tamar says, look at it from my point of view. When I had things happen to me, I don't know, she hinted at it. I don't know if was there ever a story of Tamar being abused in some sort of way, sexually abused. I don't know what her history is. I don't be following all up in her business like that. But if there was if she came out and said that she had something happen to her when she was younger, and she came to her family for help, and they rejected and turned their back on her, this makes sense on why she behaves the way she does. Plus, she is the baby. She's 40. She said, "I'm 48." In that video, I am 48. Y'all wish y'all could be all of this. When she was doing all that drag queen, touch this skin, honey, touch all it, like she was giving Venus extravaganza in that scene. We're gonna play the clip. I'm gonna actually have to play the audio because I can't actually show it because we TV and laws, and I don't feel like having to edit around it. But I did screen record the audio, so we're gonna have to just listen and use our imagination. Y'all just gonna have to watch the episode when you get around it if you haven't already. But so yeah, she brought it on, and then they got into her mental health, and um Tamar was basically saying, what you're not going to do is make me feel all a certain way because I got anxiety and depression from you bitches. So I have the clip. Let me find it in this good old phone. And we're going to come back and talk. Hold on now. Please hold. Oh, everybody at this table and apologize. Sure. Yes. No. Sorry. What? That bitch. Are you that bitch? She's a lie. She's a lie. So, man. You get up. Don't you go there. You man. Man. Don't you? No.
So it's like, Joel, I'm out of here. This is unacceptable behavior. I tried to de-escalate it as much as I could and didn't touch Tamar. I got in between she and Toni because Tony's smaller than Tamar. That's like a Rottweiler trying to fight a Yorkie. I'm done. I'm done. Everyone has an alter ego, you know. I don't get the head. There's Toni Braxton and Toni Michelle. And Toni Michelle is definitely different than Toni Braxton. I'm not going to say she's hood. And so, I know. He is definitely no nonsense. Yes, I've never seen Toni that angry before. I think we're all tired. We're exhausted with certain behaviors, and we just don't want to deal with it anymore. I know I don't. For Tamar to pull Trina's hair and to say that Trina touched her first, how can Trina touch you first when her back was turned to you? That doesn't even make sense. Pull Trina's hair. And she's 15. It's okay. Let me go. And then after you pull her hair, you kick her? That's ridiculous. Enough is enough. Let's call the cops. And press charges. I'm not calling the cops. Press charges on. I'm gone. I'm not doing that. What's your name? I knew at that moment I had to leave. I was losing control, and I'm not the type to lose control. You know I didn't put up my hands over. You did like this to me. I didn't say no. You did. Hands on me. You can't me. You dumbass bitch. Come on. I feel bad for you. I do. I pity you. I pity you. I pity you. Move your hand. I'm not going to hit my sister. You put your hands on me. I didn't put my hands on you. And just like you said, you feel bad for me? Guess what? I'll be mad at me too. Take a look, bitch. I'm 48. Bye-bye. Bye. You so mad. I'm jealous. All y'all are jealous of me because it wasn't. You're right. You have not to destroy my business. Y'all do what you have to say, man. Listen, I swear to God, I thought that we could sensibly talk about this cease and desist and have a real sister conversation to have a resolve. Call me naive. These hoes have sat over here for years and ran me down to the ground. The worst thing in the world was for me to expose them for who they have been to me. What was so bad about talking about the cease and desist when we talked about all of this ridiculous, disgusting, bogus situation? But they have sat up here and played with me and to gaslight me. This bitch gonna say my sister's man when she is a lie. She's a liar. I'm a liar. So you don't what you did. Well, don't. It's disheartening that everything turned physical the way that it did, and then to hurt my kids. Nah, I'm good. But I think that this dinner was premeditated, and that it went the way that Tamar wanted it to go. Trina, come on, Trina. And sometimes it's just okay to walk.
All right, so we need to cut that because we was getting to a point. But you want to know something I discovered? Truly believe that Tawanda hates Tamar. Like when I'm looking at all of them up in there, because they did all kind of at one point gang up on Tamar. Tamar, yes, is very melodramatic. Yes, she likes the attention. And one of the things that I will say, because I feel like they was all wrong in the situation, the cheating allegations of bringing that up. Tamar went there and was like, and I know she probably said Birdman. You think I fuck Birdman too? And then, because you know that's Tony's husband. Shudder to think why she would even wake up every morning looking at that. But if you like it, I love it. So they Tamar went and I guess made it per. Although then you started playing up the rumors because at the versus situation, you pretty much had you all up in his face, wiping the sweat off of him when he's FaceTiming his wife. You all up in the phone, telling it in then word that he's gone viral and all this other stuff. That's all she cares about. Tamar cares more about virality than she does about anything else. And that's why I feel like Toni hit the nail on the head. Toni supposed to be, Toni Braxton, she's the icon, she's Miss Demure and Mindful. She don't do all that ghetto hood rat stuff. Tamar like all of that because she is of the era of reality TV. So infamy, reality TV, that's when her career took off. Somebody cared about Tamar when she was making the music. But the minute she jumped in the whole reality TV space and realized, get your life and do all that, them isms that the gays eat up. Speaking of which, I mean, a lot of her isms come from homosexuals. Um, then all of a sudden, she's got this big success. And like Toni said, she's more comfortable being infamous than famous. And there's a difference. There's a difference between famous and infamous. Infamous is that shit you see on the Zeus network with Nally Nunn and all of that. Now she's trying to jump out and be a rapper. And I saw y'all was all clowning her ass on social media, which was hilarious. And then watching that video, I'm like, girl, I know this is not you trying to make an attempt at being a rapper because this ain't it. But if you're willing to put the coins in a career that's not gonna happen, then by all means, do you needs. There's something out there for everybody. But so yeah, I just feel like there's this jealousy, animosity, and I feel like it's the show. The reality show is what has got all of y'all kind of whatever. Toni can go off and do her music and be good. She's about to go on tour with Boys to Men and who was it? Who else? Boys to Men and New Edition. She about to do that tour. So Toni will always be good in the music department. She don't need this reality TV mess. Tamar still got her music. And didn't Toni throw a little dagger course about her stuff? Her show was a little chitlin circuit. She do give chitlin circuit tease. But when people say stuff like that, they're like, ugh, you trying to thumb it. No, there's a difference between when you crossing over and you hanging out when you singing for the Obamas versus when you doing chitlin circuit shit. And Tamar give chitlin circuit tease when it comes to the level of stuff that she does with her career. And it don't have to be like that. She's got a good enough fan base. She could do the music and put things out, but she chooses to focus on drama and mess. Hence why she always getting into it with every damn body. Recently, Funky Dineva. Speaking of which, I hope that today, if he does a show, that he talk about their encounter, because he said that one of her friends had an event last week and he got invited, and that was gonna be the first time they was gonna be in the room together since that incident. So hopefully he'll be spilling that tea on his show if he hasn't already, because I know sometimes he does do an earlier show than usual. But this is unfortunate how, as siblings, y'all let all this drama come between what it is that y'all got going on. Because once these cameras and stuff go off, y'all gotta, y'all family. I remember I was reading some comments that some people believe that this was all fake and y'all trying to do all of this for ratings. Y'all clearly don't have siblings y'all get into it with, or have like a real sibling rivalry type of sibling. I already told you. There is it's funny how I have me and my sister, we both can't stand on my younger brother. And it's because he's a dick. And so we get it. Like I get it when it's like you have that family member that is just a thorn in your ass. And it's not you acting like you better than people. When you do real shady shit, there's only been so much you're gonna put up with before it's like, okay, I'm officially done with you. So who knows how deep this rabbit hole goes in regards to these women and why they have such animosity for each other. And yeah, it was uncalled for. Trina got in between Tamar and Toni to try to prevent her from putting her hands on Toni. Because she got the heart condition, she got the lupus, and plus she can't be out here with scratches and stuff all over her. And then she go in and pull Trina wig. I'm like, you could have shifted. What was you trying to shift it like you Sheree? It's like, how you touching people wig? And somebody she put her hands on. She didn't put her hands on you. She got in between. It was like trying to move you out the way, get in between, because she was like, what y'all not going to do is sit up in here and start swinging. We're not doing that. So then you went and kicked me, and then you pulled my hair. So because security is holding you back, which goes to show that y'all asses cannot fight if this is what we doing. Because if you really want to get your licks in, you would have got your licks in. Security be damned. And then somebody, you're not gonna put your hands on your sister, but you literally just put your hands on your sister. So I can't take your word for you not gonna put your hand on your sister when you literally just put hands on her. But yeah, I do feel like there's some deep rooted animosity and anger specifically between Tawanda and Tamar. And y'all need to work all that out. Because at this point, not even Iyanla can fix y'all lives. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Did you see the latest episode of the Braxtons? Um, I guess now we're going back to shooting the show separately, because I remember Tamar said that when she did, the only reason why she decided to come out the show because, of course, for their sister Tracy, who passed away. and for them to try to mend their relationship. But she said the only time that Tawanda want to film is, I mean, or Tawanda want to be all sisterly is when the cameras is on. So she's not really like, let's be about actual sibling situation. Who knows? Maybe it's a Virgo thing. It's like, okay, once I'm done doing my obligation, I kind of go off and live my life and do my own thing. And her whole storyline this year is being a damn bridezilla, because that's exactly what she's giving with this whole. We know you're engaged. You say it every 5 goddamn seconds on that fucking show. So she, at this point, I'm just sick and tired of her. Like, she's giving Brazil tease. Go and get married, even though I know the show was filmed earlier this year, so she's already married. You living happily ever after, you do your thing or whatever the case is. But yeah, that's like, if you at a point when you have certain siblings, it's just like, we stay away from each other. We go off and do our own thing. If we happen to come across each other on holidays, whatever the case was, hey, how you doing? Keep it moving. I keep my distance. But you don't want it to be like that scene in the Purge and the second one, Anarchy, when that was the one Frank Grillo was in, when they went to the apartment and the sister found out that her husband was sleeping with her other sister and pulled out the gun on Purge night and shot her ass up. We don't need no situation to happen like that. Justina Machado, I like her. But yeah, she got her ass lit up with bullets in that damn movie. I'm bringing this up because I literally was watching that last night. But anyway, regardless of all this, I never want to hear from y'all. Let me know what you guys think, because I'm just going off on different tangents. Let me bring it back. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I was like, wait, I feel like something went in my eye. Yeah, I think I read that one. Dave's. Wait, did I? It was like, I went to Dave's Hot Chicken. Oh yeah. Oh, you said they pretty good. It's a new place. The one I went to has been open 4 months. I like Cane's better. Is Raising Cane's good? I've always heard they chicken is kind of bland. I never had it. I considered trying it, but I don't know. They built one on. There's one like, I'm in Queens, so they have one on Jamaica Avenue. Um, they built that like, I think earlier this year, like relatively new. And I know they have one in Times Square. They be open till 4 in the morning. I was like, I could not do that job when you got me working till 4 a.m. I'll be making my final Spotify payment this month on the 14th, and after that, I will be transferring to Apple Music. I believe the Spotify CEO stepped down recently. I'm still going to switch platforms. Yeah, I was like, you can have Spotify. Can't you even still listen to it for free? That's what I do. I use it free. I would never pay for Spotify, but Apple Music, I like that better. First of all, like, especially with my big headphones, because I got these aren't the headphones that I use to listen to my music, but the headphones, I got the bass and everything up in there. Oh my God, the music be sounding so damn good on Apple Music, and that's what I stick with. Every time I hear the name Tawanda, I think of the movie Freddie Green. Miss Shelby. He said the thing is, Tamar and Vince started the Braxtons. If it wasn't for Tamar, Toni wouldn't have gotten out of bankruptcy, and the other sisters wouldn't have a check. That is true, because you want to know something? Well, Toni could never keep her financial assets in order, but yeah, Tawana and Trina, don't nobody, no shade, but nobody cares about them outside that show. So in a way, Tamar and Vince coming in and launching the Braxton family values and everything, and them being like the black version of the Kardashians, except they got an actual talent, unlike the mother broads. Um, that was like a really cool thing, because I was like, oh yeah, we love Toni. Let's get to know her family. She's R&B music royalty, and now they up in here fighting and stuff. None of the Braxtons would be here without Toni. Toni caved to do the Braxton family values because her solo act wasn't supposed to happen, but they weren't going to sign Tamar, who was 13 years old. I think she had a record deal. Music flopped though. But yeah, Toni is the big kahuna to come out of there. And then she went and I forget, then Tamar did something else. Oh, this is a Grammy Award winning, this is a Grammy throw or whatever the case was. Damn, I totally forgot to bring that up. So I thought I was gonna be in that piece, but no. As like, sis, you didn't get the Grammy. Uh Toni got 7 of them. in case you need a reminder, she got 9 Billboard Music Awards, 7 American Music Awards, Georgia Music Hall of Fame. She was inducted in 2011, and she got the Don Cornelius Legend Award in 2017. Now, Tamar sitting there trying to read her sisters when they all sing. She got 1 BET award. She got 3 Soul Train Music Awards for Best R&B Female, well, Best Female R&B Soul in 2013, Song of the Year for Love and that was like well, because of the success of the Braxton Family Values. That Love and War album, everything kind of worked the way it worked, so she was able to recoup success or benefit and have success because of that. And I thought she would have kind of played and continued with that because Vince was he was what was it? Wasn't he managing Lady Gaga or something or another at the time, or was working with her? And then she got the Ashford and Simpson Songwriter Award for Love and War. This was all in 2013, and she was nominated for 4 Grammys, but never won. That's like the equivalent. That's like child. That's like Jennifer Lopez out here trying to brag, but girl, all you walked away with is a damn Nickelodeon award. Quiet as that's kept. She owed her sister something. Tamar became a superstar because of the show because she had a solo album called Tamar. It bombed, so she had to do background vocals for Toni. They doing background vocals. Tawanda was a background singer for Toni, so they all, in some way, work within the industry. He was supposed to come out with a group called the Braxtons with Tawanda, Trina, and Tracy. And then I think at the time Tracy got pregnant. But then she had Love and War, and Love and War was a huge success. That actually was a good record. But Tamar was the first album that went nowhere. Nobody cared. Except because the show made her a superstar. But let's not act like Tamar is not liked by Long Love and was fired by The Real. Well, yeah, she's always had issues and drama and stuff because she also put together The Real, and then there was drama behind the scenes with that. I remember Phoenix of Drag Race said Love and War was her all-time favorite. Really? Well, yeah, she is I was like, no, I was thinking of Nicole Page Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia. That's what I was thinking of. It took me way too long to realize that fried green tomatoes was a child. I was like, what's that? But like some people said, sometimes look, when it comes to the lesbians and stuff, that goes over our head because that's beyond our jurisdiction. But when it comes to the homosexual undertones, we get that immediately out the gate. Tamar wanted to do stripper music, but had to be told you're made for ballads, not up to. Well, look, Hot Sugar. I like that song, so I like when she do kind of the up tempo stuff. But the ballads, that's kind of boring, and I feel like they always want to put that on black women. That is like, oh, you have a great voice, so you should just only do ballads. Ballads are boring. Give me an 808 any day. She was a don't child. Let's not, because remember the iconic line that they said about Tamar. What was the line where it said, "Did you even watch the show, Tamar?" She was a judge, yeah, and got semi-read by Alexis Michelle. Mm-hmm. So she thought, "Oh, I'm gonna be on a TV show with a bunch of drag queens. I could fit in." So, the girls will come after the girls and the dolls will come after you. Have you seen the show? Tamar has become a friend. Yeah, yeah. That's what I was saying. Have you seen the show, Tamar? That's like an iconic line that they always be saying on there. It's like the gay Molly, you in danger. Wait, Molly, you in Danger Girl isn't gay already? All right, Joan. Let's keep it moving with the show. Ooh, looks like we're down to our final 4 topics. So before we get into those final 4 topics, if you please do me a solid if you haven't already, hit that like button, smash the notification bell, hit the subscribe. We finally over 3K. I'm so excited and happy. Only way we can go is up from this point. Definitely hit all them situations so you know when we go live with a brand new episode and all the other stuff that's going to come down the pipeline. Please and thank you. So, without further ado, let's get into this interesting story that I came across. So, a Live Nation exec basically, shout out to that grape juice for coming with this story. So, Cowboy Carter, as y'all know, was a big cultural event. People was living for the fact that Beyonce was pretty much edutaining the children in regards of the history of Black people's contribution to the country music genre. In fact, we can even go on to say that we created rhythm and blues, we created blues music, we created jazz, we created rock and roll, we created country, and then it got colonized and turned into that Morgan Wallen type shit. Y'all can have that. But for the most part, what you're not going to do is try to erase the contributions that Black people have given to country music, even though that is not our genre that we dominate in pop, in the popular atmosphere, whatever the hell you want to call it. So yes, the whole Cowboy Carter situation was a cultural event. And with that being said, there was this whole hullabaloo about the fact that she did limited dates and how someone said it's not sustainable. So let's get into the story. So Beyonce's Cowboy Carter era has been a cultural event, but one of music's most powerful executives is warning that her limited city tour model might not be sustainable. Now, Arthur Fogel, CEO of Global Touring and Live Nation Entertainment, revealed that while he and Beyonce intentionally designed the Cowboy Carter tour around fewer stops with multiple shows per city, the approach has potential downsides. During multiple shows in less cities and a model that's more prevalent now than ever, Fogel explained. But the flip side is if you don't go wide and touch your fans, eventually they kind of move on. He acknowledged the strategy has clear benefits, easier logistics, higher quality production, and less travel strain for the artist, but says it risks leaving fans in other regions disconnected. He said, "You have to find that balance," Fogel said. "I don't think the residency model serves the long term strategy very well." The Cowboy Carter Tour has sold out major cities like Houston, New York, and London, proving Beyonce's global pull remains unmatched. Still, Fogel's remarks hint at a rare behind the scenes debate. Can even the biggest artists in the world afford to go small scale when her fan base spans continents? And then there were some people in the comments and said, this might be true for certain artists, but Beyonce has attained a level of success that allows her to be the gold standard. She will do excellent numbers either way. Another person said, not every artist is Beyonce, so there's that. Another person says, so it didn't do as well as they thought it would do, basically. Another person said, Beyonce has a fan base that can do limited stops. Many cannot. Well, y'all are missing the point because he said globally. He's not talking about doing LA, New York, Chicago. Like he's talking about that you can do the United States, but you also have to go to Spain. You also have to go to France. You also have to go to Australia. You also have to go to the Philippines. You also have to go to, Mongolia, wherever else on the map. You also got to go to Paris. You also got to go to these other places. And she did do little stops here and there overseas, but for the most part, her main focus was the United States. And some believe that the reason why she's stuck mostly with the US is because, and there's no shade, country music has a limited reach when it comes to the type of genre that is. I don't really think that there's a lot of places. I don't think I can go to Latin America and be up in there and doing Cowboy Carter. They're not gonna be up in there. This ain't our bag. This ain't what we listen to. They would go to a Tape Dan McRae concert before they do all of that. I'm just using it as an example. But I don't see them going you going to these Latin countries and they want to see like they want a heavily country type of show. They want to be able to dance, they want to be able to do all this other stuff. So I get it. And yes, while it is true that Beyonce is the gold standard, she's not beyond reproach. It could also affect her. So yeah, when you charging people an arm and a damn leg, 3 months rent for tickets at your show, of course you ranking in all that dough. And because people have that FOMO type situation, it'll do well in a limited capacity. But I do feel like when Beyonce dropped that next album and she decides to tour, she may expand on that. There's some people that also believe that, yeah, like that's why because of the type of music it was intentionally meant to be a limited run. I don't know if that part is true, but if that was the case, then okay, I get it. Specifically for Cowboy Carter, she wanted to limit the run. But we see a lot of artists that's been taking their time and doing all this stuff. But yeah, they will move on to the next artist if you're not going to come out here and support them, which is why I guess now we see Lady Gaga doing a lot more traveling and going to different countries. And yes, when you are starting out, when you're a Tate McRae or a Benson Boone or who was the reason? Sabrina Carpenter, all of them. Yeah, you got to travel and do a lot more dates. You got to do like 100 plus. Where we see a lot of artists who are doing 22 dates, 25 dates, 35 dates, or 40 dates max. Or as Madonna did, I think on her last tour, what she do, like 60 something or 80 something. So it's like, yeah, at some point you got to expand beyond that. Or why don't artists kind of take a page out of the Taylor Swift handbook? What she did with her last tour, the Eras tour. She broke it up. She did a couple of dates here, took a month off, traveled to other places, did the tour for a couple more months, took a month off. In between, it was giving us that abysmal ass record that she came out with, Life of a Showgirl. But nevertheless, she took breaks in between. And I feel like that's what I would do as an artist. I'll go on tour for 2 years, but we got to break it up. Like I could do 3 months, give me a month off. 3 months, give me a month off. 3 months, give me a month off. You could do that within a year. So that way I could break it up. Cause shit, touring is no joke. It's physically and mentally draining. And then plus you got to worry about getting sick and all this other stuff. So I totally get it. But people just got to get out of their mind. Oh, not everybody's Beyonce. She has a fan base where she could do limited stops. That don't make no sense because you're saying Beyonce has a fan base many could do that can do limited stops. She has a global reach. Beyonce is just not some local chick that can only do the United States. Her music goes worldwide. So she's not exempt from having to get on a plane and perform it to these other people because they'll move on to the next thing. So yes, while she has this aura around her that she's this iconic global superstar, you can't neglect a lot of the fans of other countries that are not going to be able to see the show that you put together because you only want to do certain stops. So that isn't sustainable for long. And there were rumors that this tour wasn't really sustaining the kind of money like her previous tours. So we'll just have to see when her next tour comes and what she plans on doing with that and if she plans on expanding beyond that. We can revisit this conversation. But in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Do you think that Beyonce is exempt from having to do limited tours or residencies and stuff? Because yeah, residencies, that definitely is gonna limit your reach as well. And especially in this economy where this moron that we have for a president is grabbing up people and preventing them from coming in the country and all this other stuff. And now we have tourists who definitely want to like to go to Vegas and see a residency. How can they go when you're preventing them from doing what needs to be done? And this is going to cause the artists to lose money. And also the people in Vegas, the bartenders and the people that work in all the different establishments where they're suffering right now because of our economy. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Hmm. You said that was quick. 3K, we want a cake. Well, shit, I need a cake. Here, Tamar and Janice Muppet side. Not the AI generated pic. Bay would never wear that. She did wear that. It's like if Beyonce had a regional Mexican song on CC, which is basically the Mexican equivalent of country music, she would. Yeah, that would. Yeah, I could definitely see if she kind of did like. And you're right. I didn't even think about that. It's like country art. Like Mexicans have. Like when it comes to different sounds, whatever they do take on different genres and make it their own. If she would have kind of taken on and been a little more global with it, I think I would have been reached. Oh, speaking of which, I meant to bring up this story. So I don't know if y'all heard. Did y'all hear the tea about Rosalia? How she being dragged over that comment she made about on a recent interview about Bad Bunny? How she talking about that she speaks in 13 different languages on Lux, and the fact that I forgot what exactly it was that she said, but people felt like it was giving colonizer tease in regards of oh, you're getting mad at him because he refuses to speak in English or sing in English. And it's like, He's making music specifically for his people and basically saying that you don't have to compromise who you are as a Puerto Rican in order to have success in the United States. Because we've seen this happen with a lot of people of color, specifically the Latino community. Remember the Latin explosion? They all had to come out and they could do their Spanish music, but you had to put a crossover MTV American tilt on it. The Living La Vida Locas and with Mark Anthony with I Need to Know and Jennifer Lopez or whatever the hell she was doing with her music and so many others. Even at one point, speaking of Mexicans, oh my God, what the hell was her name? Paulina Rubio went English for 1 second. The music ain't do all that well, but she went English and so many others. They was all trying to do that whole crossover thing. And what he's saying is you don't have to compromise your art and who you are in order to reach a larger audience. Hooray for you that you decided to challenge yourself and sing in 13 different languages, but you don't need to try to come for other people for what you was doing. I'm like, child, I wonder if that's the reason why Raul Alejandro and her broke up. Because she be doing too damn much. He said, I saw an interview clip where Michael Jackson said he hated touring. He said it was helpful. Yeah, it's helpful. And you could definitely see that because um all that physical pain and stuff he was in, but that's the way you make your money. Beyonce did 2 hours within a year of each other. I mean, 2 tours within a year of each other. And from what I heard, they weren't much different. They weren't. But I seen a tour online. And like literally she took parts of Renaissance and incorporated in Cowboy Carter. I just feel like it's also ripping off your fans if you're not going to give them something new and different. That you combine in the old tour and putting it in the new tour and just adding extra things on it because you want to make more money. And it's like, girl, you got enough money between your husband, all them deals he doing with the Saudi Arabians and the music that you made throughout your career. You need more money. So I would have just waited until the third act came out and then combined it all together and did one big show. Janet Jackson, now she's touring Europe, but it took her how long? Because she canceled the leg of 9/11 when other actors postponed it. She said nope and then canceled Unbreakable tour. And they probably didn't expect her age to get pregnant. Yeah, like Gloria Estefan did a few albums in Spanish, and Christina Aguilera did Spanish albums. Yeah, and Christina did it in the beginning of her career. Mi reflejo. I said, I doubt Rosalie is actually fluent in those 13 languages. I want to learn a third language. I remember having a 20-something day streak learning French on Duolingo back when I was in the 7th grade. Did you retain any of it? All right, y'all. So now let's get into some homosexual news of sorts. And let's talk about Diplo, who came out and spilled some tea in a recent podcast. Where he basically raised some eyebrows. And, when they brought up Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau. Now, maybe I wasn't paying attention or I didn't care enough to pay attention. But apparently, Diplo says that he done smashed Katy and her new boo, Justin Trudeau. I'm like, say what now? So yeah, I have that clip because he went on the Smart Girl Dumb Questions podcast, or it was an episode of the podcast, and it was hosted by journalist Naima Raza, and it went viral. And it's funny because when I looked, the podcast came out weeks ago, but now people are starting to catch on to it and all of a sudden speaking out about what had happened. So I do have the clip. Hold on, let me pull it up. Wait, that's not where I wanted to go. I'm always pressing the wrong damn button. Okay. So yeah, I got it. Shout out to the Twitter because that's where I got it from. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk. Please hold.
But that place is just a horny place. It's where Pornhub. It's just a very porny city. Montreal.
Canada, porny. They have a hot prime
Quebec in
minister
general.
now.
And now Katy Perry's dating Justin Trudeau.
I know. Fuck.
It's pretty fire.
I know so many people who kind of
dated Katy Perry like me.
Oh, did you date Katy Perry?
I did.
I meant Trudeau.
Oh, I did date Trudeau too.
Yeah. That's gonna go.
That was a weird one though.
Really? Why?
Because
He's a prude, isn't
I'm not
he?
into politicians.
I call him Prudo. Yeah.
You met him before?
No, I haven't. I think he's hot.
But that place is just a horny.
She say Trudeau. Well, he definitely gives uptight and prude, but I'm like, well, damn, I would have like finished the tea. What are you into? I don't know. I just get like Diplo is a little, he a little freakish. But of course, after he pretty much said that whole situation, the girls was out here gagging. It was like they wanted more information. I was like, what you mean you was out here doing Justin? And no shade, but I kind of always kind of got this vibe from Justin Trudeau. Even when he did Canada's Drag Race, I don't know. Maybe it's I always associate that some of y'all Canadians got a little doing up in you. Like I just get that vibe, but maybe y'all just always so damn cheerful to the point that it's so damn annoying. But I kind of always got that vibe from it. And look, if Justin Trudeau's fluid, okay, good for him. Maybe that's what Katy's into. She said she kissed the girl and liked it, even though I don't believe her one damn second. But if your man is out here, if your man can't do nothing for you, these hoes ain't loyal. So, the singer also referenced Diplo because the funny thing, I didn't even know that him and Katy were a thing at the time. I never knew this, maybe because I wasn't really paying attention to Katy's career. All I remember was she was married to Justin Brand, and then I remember she got with Orlando Bloom, but I didn't know she was out here hooking up with Diplo. So yeah, but then, and of course, this was the world's worst rumor or worst kept secret, because we were seeing Katy Perry and the prime minister, former prime minister, hanging around and kikiing and having a good old time and on the boat and all that other stuff. But so I didn't think nothing of it. Then when they came out and confirmed, I'm like, okay, we already know. Let's all move on. Nobody cares. But maybe what she should have did was hit up Diplo and had him produce that 143 record. She probably would have got a hit off of it. But then again, maybe they didn't have a not so great relationship, or they had a wild breakup. So I don't know if I would want to be in the same studio with somebody I didn't have the best thing with. But there was some. Oh yeah, they said the single lady referenced Diplo or referred Diplo. Excuse me, reference, as I was saying before, during a playful moment on James Corden's Witness Worldwide live stream, ranking him behind John Mayer and Orlando Bloom among her former partners. Well, I guess at the time she was with Orlando, so she wouldn't kind of put it behind her. And look, you already was speaking of John Mayer and fluidity, you got Andy Cohen trying to hunch him real bad, especially when he just recently did that Call Her Daddy podcast. So I don't know. Some people was out here talking about it was a wave of disbelief and amusement. One person said, this is something I would believe. I actually do believe it. One person commented on IG, another wrote LMAO. I feel like Diplo was joking. Mm-mm. One of the things we know about Diplo, he has come out and said that he messes with girls and guys. I even think there's got to be a little, what was I going to say? That rumor that was going around that he and Orville Peck was hooking up. Orville's got his man and they happy and all this other stuff now, but I'm sure back in the day, them two was doing a little some yum bouncy bounce. I would not put none past him. So one person said, yeah, so a lot of people think like he was joking, and then somebody said, so now we have to face a face to whom he was referencing here. So wait, there was another video that he referenced. I was like, where was that one at? Hold on, let me pull this up. 'Cause I'm like, this is news to me. Hopefully it plays. And this will be the first time I'm watching this video. This is me scrolling through Twitter, reading the comments. So yeah, what the people saying? Let's hold on.
I if I got a blowjob from a guy before.
You're sure that's happened?
Yeah.
And you just don't remember?
I mean,
you're saying you're not committing to it, but you're saying you're sure it happened.
For sure.
But you don't have a specific memory of it.
Like, I don't know if it's gay unless you like make eye contact while there's the blowjob.
That's such a straight guy thing to say.
But I mean, getting a blowjob is not that gay, I think.
I don't know. You tell me.
Wait, what were we about to talk about?
We were talking about Bill Clinton.
Because
this is a serious podcast, okay?
Well, that's what. Well, look, it's gay depending on who puts their mouth on it. That's what I say on that. So yes, it is. So it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I be wondering, it's like I be feeling like y'all bitches be out here trolling. Like, stop trying to troll on our situation. And if you into it, you into it. Not y'all pulling up this picture. One person said it was probably an orgy or foursome or something. But here, child, I love you, Madonna, but I gotta do it. Somebody pulled hold on now. I always thought this was fake. Somebody pulled up this picture. Now, if you can't see what it is, it's literally Madonna got a dildo in her bag. And you see her face like she about to penetrate her ex-husband, Guy Ritchie. Like, I'm putting nothing past these straight boys that be running around here with the, the pegging and all that other stuff. But if you like it, I love it. That's what I'm gonna say on that. We should have kept that open so we're gonna scroll down and see what the other people were saying. Another person said she was so horny for him, rightfully so. This man could riz a chastity belt off. Another person said to each their own. Personally, I think Luigi is that way to me. He is so fine, but not everybody likes him. Speak for yourself. I love me some Luigi Mangione. I don't know what anybody talking about that. We don't like him. Um Not somebody said the fact that social media always jumps to conclusion is just astounding to me because you don't even have all the facts to back that up, and yet you're over there making assumptions. And mind you, it could have been a different guy. So sick of how stupid you people are. Okay, whatever that means. Excuse me. But look, I don't know what the point of all this was. Maybe he was joking, maybe he wasn't. But if you got the hunch, him, because I always think like politicians are probably way freakier than regular people because they got all that pent up, animosity, and they're always so uptight. Kind of like how the lady was talking about how she refers to Justin. So a lot of these people, I'll be feeling like those would be the politicians, probably the best ones, and most of them probably bottoms too. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you think that Diplo was trolling over the fact that he had relations with Justin Trudeau, or was he just trolling, or whatever the case was, or was he dead ass? So I never want to hear from y'all. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Wait, hold on. Hang on. What's up? Moving on. Now I'm glad Diplo isn't looking like Kid Rock anymore. Because I could probably understand the same amount of French as a 6-year-old that grew up in France. I cannot understand a Brigitte Bardot song without looking up translation. And it's like, you got to kind of keep it up, I guess. It's my Diplo child. When him and Justin were together, I wonder who topped and who. Not clearly saying, wait, what? With that voice, I'm sure. Look, you'd be surprised. Or maybe he's verse. Verse first. Verse first. Walk into the room, verse first. You said the concept of a DJ banging the prime minister of a whole country. That interviewer was horrible. Basically, zero follow up. That's what I said. I'm like, bitch, now we're gonna have to stop this damn show and be like, I want more tea. In regards to this, that would have been me. I was like, wait a minute now. You talking about you done hunch Justin Trudeau? I need more information. And so let's go. What's going on? And that's what I hate about when people don't really do the follow ups. It is pretty annoying. Speaking of French, I always thought he is a good looking man. Like, one of the things I think that's why people gravitate to him, because he has like that standard politician good looks, dark hair, like that strong jaw. He's got kids. Like, that has ever meant anything, especially when you be out here hunching men. There's a lot of married men that don't be closing their legs to the peen. So who making the OnlyFans? You ain't never gonna see Justin Trudeau make one, nor Diplo. Although I think they mentioned there is I didn't get to watch it. I need to watch it. There is a segment in the interview where I believe they ask him about getting naked and all this other stuff. Because he likes thirst trapping on social media. So I wish I would have watched the interview, but I was busy watching other stuff that I wasn't able to. and putting the show together, which I spent literally up to like 3 a.m. accumulating topics. Those pics of him in the 90s, my legs are spread. He supports the dolls too. Look, I would not be surprised if Diplo has hooked up with quite a few of the dolls. It's like when you in this entertainment industry, you get to be exposed to a whole world of different people. And when you all about the vibes and the drugs, which I know he is no stranger to, um, Diplo definitely seems like he's very open when it comes to sexual partners and his appetite. Oh. Oh yeah, he was on. I do remember he was on Canada versus the World. I remember that. Well, I said Drag Race. Speaking of which, I gotta start catching up on Drag Race. I gotta finish. I gotta catch up on UK. I only watched the first 2 episodes. I haven't been able to watch. I haven't watched any of Espana. And speaking of Canada, it's supposed to be coming on soon. And I'm sure we'll be getting the announcement of regular season Drag Race any day now. I mean, we're already in November. So they got to start spilling who's going to be on the new season. Right. So now, let's get back into the show, y'all. Let's talk about Charlie Sheen, well, aka Carlos Estevez, who is giving a little more detail into, his same-sex capades. Because, when he revealed that in his book and the documentary or docu-series that was on Netflix, everybody was, they sat up and they was all interested in what was going on. But he didn't really elaborate, I guess, enough. But now he feels like he needs to clarify some things. He's not backpedaling on the homosexual stuff. He just kind of giving y'all a little more insight. So in his recent book, The Book of Sheen, and Netflix documentary, aka Charlie Sheen, the actor detailed his sexual encounters with the homosexuals, saying it feels fucking liberating to open up about his past experiences with the same sex after years of keeping it hidden. Now he's clarifying something about that reveal, saying, quote, when people say sex with men, you immediately think of like butt sex. Sorry to be graphic, but that's kind of where the mind goes, right? Absolutely. That's why, like, when we have conversations, when somebody said they done hunched, then we just have a question, who's the top and who's the bottom? Why do we always go there with that? So yeah, that's always what we equate same sex with. It's always penetration, when it's not always the case. Maybe Charlie was a side in a lot of the situations. So, yeah, this is what he explained during an appearance on the In Depth with Grant Bessinger. And he said, and it wasn't that. I don't want to be like, okay, I did this thing, but this and that part of it didn't happen, but it didn't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what, he said, I don't know that that matters, but that's the only part of it where I'm like, it wasn't full-fledged man. He said it was that ish like you'll experiment with in college. I never went to college, so maybe that explains it. He added that not being specific about it initially wasn't a shame thing. Now, when asked about Bessinger, when he believes his drug addiction made him curious, or whether that was something that was always there, he said, sitting here, I don't really know. Be a mixture, I always say this, look, drugs give a lot of people the courage to do the things that they wouldn't normally want to do in their regular lives when they're sober. So a lot of times people like to hide behind liquid courage or doing heavy drugs, whatever, and then like Jamie Foxx, you blame it on the alcohol. Or they want to blame it, oh, I was high at the time, or I snorted this and it made me feel whatever, and it was feeling good and I want to stop it. Like there's people coming with all type of excuses instead of being like, you know what? Maybe there was a little situation there where I just wanted to explore my sexuality, but I decided the drugs gave me the courage to experiment. So he said, I'm not going to say it was absolutely the drugs. There's two schools of thought: that the drugs open doors that are already somewhere in the house, or that they create them. I don't know. He did, however, add that it never happened with the insane amounts of crack. Now, in the Netflix documentary, Sheen shared how it felt to speak out about his sexual encounters with men. Liberating, it's effing liberating to just talk about stuff. It's not like a train didn't come through the side of the restaurant, a effing piano didn't fall out of the sky, no one ran into the room and shot me. He said in the doc, the 2.5 Men alum said he started having relations with men amid his drug addiction. He said that's what started it. That's where it was born or sparked, and in whatever chunks of time that I was off the pipe, trying to navigate that, trying to come to terms with it. Where did that come from? Why did that happen? And then just finally being like, so what? Or as they would say about Joy Behar, so what? Who cares? so, so what? He said some of it was weird. A lot of it was fucking fun, and life goes on. Now, during the interview with Michael Strahan that aired on Good Morning America, Sheen admitted he became addicted to sex during that time, claiming he chose to keep his encounters with men a secret because he was being extorted. He said it did come with a tremendous amount of extortion, and so at the time, I was just like, all right, let's just pay to keep it quiet and just hope it just stays over there, make it go away, and make it go away. And he continued to pay to keep his sexual encounters with men from leaking. The Wall Street Star said it felt like being held hostage. And that's a bad feeling. So, and also, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody went around and was like if he ever hooked up with other people within their whole situation. I don't know if they were, because he had an affinity for prostitutes. So I don't know if these men that he was hooking up with were escorts or just random dudes that he met that while he was in his little den of drugs and all that other stuff. Because a lot of times when you be doing your little drugs and you get other people, they all kind of want to migrate together. So I don't know if there was a situation of that, or it was just that he was having meeting these people out, and it just so happens that while he was getting high, they all kind of just started doing things together. But um he I'm glad you're finally living your truth now, because that made me wonder about that story. Remember we did a couple a while back where it was saying like he in a relationship with a man. That shit was probably made up, because if you're not sitting here addressing it and talking about that whole situation where you're talking about, oh yeah, I need to elaborate on the sexual encounters allegedly, well, that transpired between me and other men during the time when I was smoking crack. I need to be a little more forthright about what went down. And the fact that he's speaking out about it kind of makes me think like, yeah, maybe that story wasn't true that was going around with the tabloids that said that he's in a whole relationship, or maybe it is true and he's just keeping that secret. But my thing is, if you saying it's liberating and you want to live your best life, living your truth, shine, stand in your light or stand in your flame, as I would like to say. So shout out to you, Charlie. I'm glad you're living your truth. Oh, another thing, because I remember I wanted to bring this up earlier where I was talking about like Rosalie making a comment about Bad Bunny not speaking in multiple languages. He only chooses to speak Spanish and that sort of thing. And that overall shame and colonization and everything that's deeply rooted within the Latin community. I was watching a interview, I think it dropped today, with Martin Sheen. He did an interview on the Happy Sad Confused podcast, and he was talking about how, yes, he regretted changing his name to Martin Sheen because his real name is Ramon Estevez. And I saw that he was using the Zoom. It said Renee Estevez, so that was the sister. So he was using her Zoom while he was interviewing with him. But anyway, so he was like, yeah, I was I felt bad. My father didn't talk about it because he said that, but it was hard to make a name for yourself as an artist in the 50s. That's when he started his career, especially when, even though Puerto Ricans are part of the United States, they were treated as the other, the new immigrants and that sort of thing. So there was a lot of discrimination that was happening towards Puerto Ricans at that time. And you already know these racist white folks, they lump all Latinos under one son. Cubans, Puerto Ricans, they're all Mexican, apparently. And every other, Hispanic demographic, all of them is just one thing. Nobody is ever a multitude of things. So he said, yeah, at the time he did. End up regretting it over the years. But people need to realize that in those times in Hollywood, not saying it's right, but when you're dealing with a lot of racist people that's running the industry, in order to get work, in order to blend in, you got to change your name. But they even tried to get Keanu Reeves to change his name, and he said that he went by some weird names at one point and was like, "No, I'm gonna just stick with it." And look, the name is so unique. I even see like a lot of kids. I think I have seen that. I have a person that works at my job. His name is Keanu. So the name is people end up naming their kids after their favorite artists when they have a unique name or whatever the case is. And it's like, and it basically means cool breeze over the mountains in Hawaiian. And so when you have all these different names, it's like people appreciate that. Now it's at the time because he said Emilio even thought about changing his name and changed it Emilio Sheen, and he looked at it, he was like, nah, this don't look right. He just didn't like how it looked and then just went with the original name. And then plus Martin said that he begged him to keep the surname instead of having to kind of come over and do the Hollywood thing. So uh, it was good that Emilio was able to keep his name. Plus, it was the '80s; the times was different, and he was able to flourish and have a career keeping his regular name rather than having to give in. And I mean, as Emilio, what would he change his name? What would he change that to? What's Emilio in English? Excuse me. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? I definitely want to hear from you in regards to Charlie Sheen getting specific about his relations with men in his recent, after the memoir came out and he started revealing, like, yes, I was out here having sex with the men during when I was when I was on the drugs and things of that nature. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I was seeing clips and stuff. I didn't watch the full interview. Um, I'm gonna definitely get around to watching it. I know it's a two-parter. I'm like, do I really want to sit through all that? Because the way Elijah was talking and then the host, I was like, am I gonna be able to get through this whole thing? Or can somebody give me the highlights? Because y'all sound like y'all just learned how to speak English yesterday. So I probably will get around to it. I don't know when. Hopefully I have the time, but I'm gonna try to get around. I'm gonna get around to watching. But I did see it. I'm like, child, it's a mess out in these streets with Raheem Shabazz allegedly beating on his, the people he be in a relationship with. I mean, that Willem's Darkroom duel, it just ended. So I already know who won the show. And so that's done. But I do wonder, like, when all this comes out, how will this affect his career? Or will it affect his career with all these allegations finally coming out? I remember I even said in my last story, I was like, if Elijah want to come on and do an interview, we could do it. Somebody said, wow, so you could explain it. I'm like, first of all, you dumb bitch. Part of doing an interview is you want to interview the person, give them a platform. And yes, it does help other, if I'm interviewing somebody, yes, it helps the channel. Hello. When you're doing an interview, you don't think that brings over people and then they subscribe? Like, but I guess you don't make videos, so y'all don't get it. Or that person didn't get it who tried to throw that shade. Are you lucky I wasn't in the mood to cuss your ass out? So I just left it alone. But because I can't be out here just wasting my time and energy on just reading people. It gets exhausting after a while. So how do you think that I got over 3K followers or subscribers on YouTube by just running my fucking mouth and that's it? It's called promotion. I mean, running the mouth is part of it, but it's promotion. When I take some of the clips and I cut them up, and people who don't sit through the whole show, when I put up certain clips, when people like and subscribe and in the comments, that pushes the stories out, that pushes the video out, blows up the algorithm, and that's where all the comments come up. Like the Rosie O'Donnell thing I just did on her daughter. I was not expecting that video to get as much attention that it's getting, but it's getting the attention. And a lot of people's getting in the comments. So the more people comment, the more people like, the more people, whatever, it pushes the story out and more people get to see it. Then they discover the show, then they see what it's about, whether or not they like it, and they subscribe. That's how that works. But people try to come in and read and they just dumber than a box of damn rocks. Yes, she is. So we'll hear if the music's good or not. Hillary said she making a new album for the homosexuals. Yeah, we did a whole story on that. I think in the last show, the Halloween show. Yeah, because when I found out Charlie and Amelia were brothers, I was like, why do they have different last names? I think we all kind of did, but now we know, like, you know, Hollywood, like Brad Pitt. His name is actually William. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise's real name is Thomas Mapother. His cousin William works as William Mapother. He was on Lost and a bunch of other shows. Didn't the Corys have a story? Yeah, and yeah, Corey Feldman said that Corey Haim told him that Charlie SA'd him back when they did Lucas, and Charlie addressed it, said that he should have sued Corey Feldman for putting that tea out there. That never happened. I think even Corey Haim's mother has debunked it, but people gonna believe what they want to believe. I'm like, the reality is Corey Haim isn't here. He cannot defend himself. And so we'll never know if this actually happened. And I loved Corey Haim. I was a big fan of his movies. Like of course, one of my favorite all-time favorite movies from him is The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys, I love that movie. I love Lucas. Also, Silver Bullet. I freaking love that movie. Where he played, a disabled kid. Where him and his sister and the uncle, Gary Busey, have to kill the werewolf that's killing people in the town. Shit, I might actually watch that tonight. Yeah, just because October's done don't mean the horror movies stop over here. hmm You said Charlie addressed that in his documentary. Yeah, and that's why I said it was like literally it's the word against, it's funny though how Emilio and Charlie started around the same time. Yeah, and it's funny, but Emilio kept his name, which is kind of like, do I really believe Martin by saying that? Oh, I begged Emilio to keep his surname instead of changing it to Sheen. Because they did kind of start at the same time. Weren't they the turtles in the movies? What, Ninja Turtles? I know Corey Feldman was one of the voices. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was Raphael Donatello. I remember he was one of the voices. And like the old one, the one I love from like the 90s. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Secret of the Ooze. Of course, I love the first one more than the second one, but because it's like quintessential 90s. Actually came out in the 90s, so I would guess we could say 80s. All right, so now let's get into our final topic. Let's talk about this mess with David Geffen's ex. Well, soon, I don't know if they're divorced or not, because I'm just relatively confused if they're actually done. Well, the word on the curve is David Geffen's man is struggling to make ends meet. So she done ran out of coin and she trying to squeeze whatever's left out of this damn $1 billion lemon. So the 82-year-old entertainment mogul is in the middle of a dramatic split from his much younger spouse, Donovan Michaels, a 32-year-old former go-go dancer. And y'all already know David is 82. So there's a 50-year gap between them two. In a jaw-dropping suit filed in July, Michaels claimed Geffen, whose net worth is reportedly $9.1 billion, used a toxic mix of seduction, control. Was Michelle Visage involved? Because you said seduction, control, promises of love, and lavish displays of wealth to entrap him in a cycle of dependency, submission, or humiliation. Now, in a jaw-dropping lawsuit filed in July, Michaels claimed Geffen, whose net worth is reported. Wait, why am I reading the same thing twice? I think I wrote the same thing twice. The suit was abruptly dropped in October, but both sides are still fighting over the spousal support in the divorce, per legal documents obtained by the Daily Mail. Documents filed on October 31st show that Michaels listed a total of just $7,518 in cash and savings. He did not list any of the support he has allegedly received from Geffen once they were separated or during their 23-month marriage. The income and expense declaration stated that Michaels received funds from Geffen, although the nature of which a total amount is unknown. The billionaire mogul's attorney said that he has done everything possible to resolve the spousal support issue. In a signed declaration, Geffen said, "While I have continued to support Donovan and I have made every effort to reach a global settlement in this matter, Donovan and his legal team have not participated in good faith." Now, Geffen's attorney says the 82-year-old billionaire paid at least $500,000 to Michaels since their separation, as well as a $50,000 toward his former beau's legal fees. Among Geffen's claims, he claims to have paid $198,450 for Michaels to stay at his private ultra-luxury drug rehabilitation center as long as he wanted. First of all, how do you well, I guess because you're a billionaire. I'm like, you have a private ultra-luxury drug rehab center? Well, they said he paid the money for Michaels to stay there. I was like, I don't know why I thought he actually owns one. But no, he paid for him to go to rehab. But then, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Donovan say that um David was also an equal participant in the drugs, and then he got him caught up in some things? And you know how these homosexuals like to party and play, if you know what I'm saying. I think you do. I don't know if it was y'all was being practicing Methodist during the situation, but y'all saying there was some drugs involved. That's always my go-to when it comes to like, yeah, we get extreme when it comes to you new generation homos, where it's like, okay, what exactly was y'all out here doing? Was it just like taking a bump of the booger sugar? Was it just liquor? Was it other things? Or was you just, getting acquainted with Miss Tina? So he also says that Michaels has been receiving $25,000 per month since June of this year. Michaels has previously claimed that he is entitled to community property. Now, court filings by Geffen in September said that he was willing to pay up to $50,000 a month in spousal support, but only for a year and only if he gets credit for what has already been paid. I remember hearing him say that. But if you're getting $25,000, what did he say in June? And it's November, so you would have, I would think, at least $125,000 that he paid up. What was you doing with all that money? Like, this is what I don't get about you new generation rhymes with maggots. Why y'all not putting some of that money, like taking a couple of them thousands of dollars and putting it in a little trust to build up or whatever the case is? So, and you call that your FU money. So when it comes down to you no longer having access to the world that you got to have access to because of a David Geffen, that you take whatever that money is that you got in that savings, you downscale, get you a cute little $2,500 or $1,500 a month apartment. Maybe you could find a $1,200 one in New York. Get you a cute little apartment, trick it out, and go off and do whatever. You can go back to your go-go dancing. You can go back to you can be a bartender, hustle and make that thing what it is. But I think a lot of times, the gays, or as I always say, the homosexuals, like to get caught up in this lavish lifestyle and they want to maintain that. But stop living beyond your means. Once you are fully done with David Geffen, you're not gonna have access to that world anymore. It was fun while it lasted. It was a brief little situation. Now, what you should have been doing is saving up that money, taking a couple of them, if you're getting paid $25,000 a month since June, why didn't you open up an account and at least take, like, if I'm sitting there thinking, how much would I actually put away if I'm doing $25,000 a month? And it's like, what am I really spending all that money on? Like, okay, I would just be paying like my little bills and my streaming service and all the other stuff, probably buy me some cute outfits. But all I care about is looking good because I can style clothes together rather than I gotta have Versace. I gotta have, whatever designer situation I gotta have just so I can show that I'm balling. And that's what people get so caught up in. Y'all get so caught up in the balling, they get so caught up in living beyond y'all means that it's like now when it comes down to it, oh, I ain't got no money. You should be being smart with the money. I would at least taken a good $5,000 of that a month and put it into something. Or maybe I'd push it up and do 7K. Put it in a little trust or whatever and let it build. And like I said, when all that money dries up, you would at least have a whole lot of money saved up in an account where you don't really have to work as hard. And you can invest, I guess, some of it in whatever type of stock or whatever you want to do so you can see it accumulate. Excuse me. We could have did that. But no, you want to be out here being cute. And now look at you, talking about you broke. So now they said his attorney Laura Wasser argued Geffen is retired and never worked during the couple's short-lived marriage, meaning that there is no communal property to divide. And that's like, yeah, the man is retired. The man's older than Methuselah. He's not working. He's literally living off of his earnings. He's a billionaire. So you don't need to work. He's good. So at this point, David, Quiet as it's kept, you both knew what the hell y'all was getting into when y'all got together. So we're not gonna sit up here and try to act obtuse in this situation. You was trying to get you a pretty young thing to have in your arm, and you saw that old white man, and you thought he was gonna, it was gonna be some situation that he was gonna pull you out of obscurity, and you was gonna be happy with whatever you got going on, and then realize that when you attach yourself to these billionaires, there's a lot that comes with that. You got to keep up yourself a certain way. Your hygiene got to be on point. That Peen got to be always at attention when he ready to put it wherever he want you to put it, and all that other stuff. You got to do your part. It's a quid pro quo type of situation. You really thinking you getting in these relationships and it's real love? Because I don't think either one of y'all was looking for real love. I think it was a companionship situation. He was looking for something that he could mold. I'm talking about David to Donovan, looking for something he could mold, and Donovan was looking for an opportunity to never have to work again. He was willing to be a kept queen. And now look at the situation. So you get what you pay for, sir. So now what you should have been doing, like I said before, you should have been smart about your finances. And now look at you. Talk about you got less than 10 grand in your bank account. Well, to be even more quieter than this, Kev, you got way more in your account than most people at this point with this shitty economy that we just walked into. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story and the latest on David Geffen and his boo thing? Somehow that, he's running low on cash, which you should have known that was going to come. And if they can find a way to get money out of you, get money. We'll just have to see if that happens. But in the meantime, sir, you better go out and get yourself a job, or in the words of Monique Mama, go down to the welfare. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down. Well, not even Monique Mama. I meant Precious Mama. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Not you posting turtles. You said the back got broke for this. He should have reached out to Milan. Okay. Now, yeah, leaving broke is not the 10. If anybody knows how to hustle for $1, it's Mulania. And I said Mulania on purpose. They were married for less than 2 years. That's no real time in a relationship to be fighting. Okay. Like you acting like y'all been together for a decade. It's like you are not Will and Jada. Like y'all not getting no something out of it. Or I'm trying to think of a homosexual couple that been together for a long time. Dustin Lance Black and his boo, Tom Daly. Donovan needs to take many seats with that, but get up off his ass to get a job. You was looking to be a cat bitch, and I know plenty of queens that be like that too. He probably had to have top fashion to be with him. Yeah, and I'm sure that David probably encouraged that because, it's like, yeah, if I'm a billionaire, you got to be looking good on my arm at all times. So yeah, that is probably a requirement. He should have just gotten a regular house. Just because he has money doesn't mean he has to blow it all in a year. Yeah, but a lot of these girls like, yeah, look, I'm rich. I got all of this other. No, bitch, your man is rich. He's giving you the coins. You not rich. You just benefiting off the richness. If you really want to break it on down, but you could have just got something regular because I'd have been like, yeah, I'm prepping myself. I'm gonna give me a cute little spot, or maybe the smart thing would be, yeah, buy a house, fuck a renting an apartment, get you a house, pay the damn thing off, because once you pay it off and it's yours, can't nobody take that from you. So the smart thing would be to keep that house, like because once it's yours, that's yours. If I was rich, I'd still live in a regular house. Child, I wouldn't even tell people I was rich. That's how you leave yourself open to getting robbed. Gavin was planning to do Donovan like Liberace did his. Oh, I remember that. Well, from the movie, Behind the Candelabra, sending him to the plastic surgeon to be his lookalike. Oh yeah, that was a mess. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I might want to revisit that. It's a boo thing, boo thing. Oh, I can't hear my nose. Shout out to Jean A. I guess the extreme rules probably bothered him in the marriage. Well, yeah, but then again, I don't know. I don't feel no ways tired about it because when you say the extreme rules probably bothered him, you knew what you was getting into when you get with a man of that stature. strings are attached. You're not just gonna come up in here and spend up my money and just be cute and lay across the couch like you Norma goddamn Desmond. It's like, no, bitch. There's rules that come with that, and you got to do all the things. If you don't like it, then go get your own billions and do whatever you want with that. And don't for him's account code. Him's account code. Wait, is that based off that movie with Marlon Wayans? No, I did not hear the rumor that Madonna got secretly engaged. I saw that the Madonna Louise Veronica Ciccone podcast did what was it, a 30th anniversary of something to remember or something or another. Oh, that album is that old? Sis, we don't need you out here getting married anymore than you need to. Wasn't it Geffen who filed for divorce though, or did I get that wrong? He may have filed for divorce. Hold on, let me look that up. Or is it in the article? First of all, this article is too goddamn long for me to be scrolling through. You know, he was married to Cher too, or was in a relationship with her. Yes, it was him. They said that he filed for divorce from David Armstrong, also known as Donovan Michaels, citing irreconcilable differences. Well, y'all always do this, irreconcilable differences. According to Armstrong, he ended the marriage after he sought sobriety and expressed a desire to develop an independent identity, which he claims Geffen did not support. Armstrong has also made accusations of emotional and physical abuse in court documents. So once he wanted to develop an independent identity, once he got tired of, as Robert put it, he didn't want to deal with the extreme rules. So he was like, okay, well, if you don't like the rules, then you need to go. Is that a drag queen? You said Viagra. Oh, you said, oh. You said in the Hims account. Why did that go over my head? Because, yeah, the gays, they always be advertising the Hims stuff. That totally went over my head. I totally forgot about that. Because you be hearing so many damn um things in regards to like what's going to help male erections. And I totally forgot about the whole Hims situation. Look, I'm tired. It's been 3.5 hours of me doing the show. You know, once I get down to the wire, my brain just become. This must be what Trump feel like when you got a brain full of mashed potatoes. Ashwagandha. Didn't what's the name said that they did that? What's his name? Will Smith's son, Jaden. Didn't they do that? Or is that ayahuasca or one of them shits? I always thought about doing like psychedelics or whatever you want to call it. That's funny. I'm looking at my Facebook and it's showing like my video was live. So why is it I don't know. Why is it making it seem like, oh yeah, I guess nobody can comment on the Facebook page, or they could comment because I don't see anything. But anyway, all right, y'all. So now, let me see. All right. It looks like we're at the end of the show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. If you have not already, hit that like button. If you're new, hit that subscribe, smash the notification bell, all that good stuff. Thank you all for tuning in. Love you all for watching. I will be back on tomorrow with a brand new episode because, later in the week, we'll be busy again. So I probably can give y'all a couple more shows or whatever the case is. So yes, love you all for watching. Thank you for the continued support. Thank you also, as I said, like we finally hit over 3K viewers or subscribers and all the other stuff. And so thank you all for being consistent and helping the show blow up to where it is in the channel and all that stuff. Natural testosterone booster, is that what that is? Well, shit, I may need to try that because maybe when I think at my age I got to go to the doctor and check out my testosterone levels and things. I also think I'm at the point where I got to get the colorectal exam, because with all this stuff going on, and they say 45, but I think a lot of people are getting them much younger. So that might be something I definitely got to look into. But anyway, love you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in per usual. Until next time, ciao, darlings.